Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? If you can hear me, what's going on? Welcome to Online Big Blue, True Big Blue, and Online Big Blue with Big Pat, episode 5. What's going on, guys? What's going on? If you can hear me, what's going on?
I'm here.
What's going on, Tim?
How you doing, my friend? I'm sorry about that. For some reason, it wasn't letting me log into the stream.
Yeah, it's been acting weird today. I think my internet's acting a little weird today, but it's not going to stop the show.
Of course,
keep pushing.
Of course, I'm going to keep on.
First off, I want to ask how my man's doing. How's your health? How's your family? How's everything going, Big Tim?
Health is good. Cannot complain. Got my first COVID shot on Sunday or Saturday, so I am ready for whatever comes, and what I'm ready to get this season started because I'm tired of waiting for the freaking 29th, man.
Right.
Let's get the draft going already. Let's just do the draft now.
Right.
Screw the rest of it. Let's just go. I'm tired.
I've been waiting for the draft for 2 months, man.
I don't want to wait
for 2 months.
I just don't want to wait anymore. I'm done.
All right. Well, first, I would like to thank everybody for the support. I am now at 300 subscribers. Shout out to Logan's Giants mom and his dad for getting me to 300.
There you go.
I will start accepting callers in about 15 to 20 minutes into the show. I know Online Big Blue only has about an hour of his time, so we'll stop accepting people call-ins at around 8:15. I want to talk about I did my first combine yesterday on Sunday. You can check out that vid. What's going on, Sonny D? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's going on? I had a blast, man. I was actually filming. It was a combine. It was a pro day for D1 athletes and top high schoolers here in Louisiana. We had a blast. If you want to check that out, that's on the channel. And I seen your last video. Now you said something about Mel Kiper. I want to put that out there. What was Mel? Well, Kiper. Mel Kiper. My bad, not Kiper. I always say Kiper, but it's Kiper.
It's Kiper. I always call him Mel the idiot. I mean, it just makes it easier.
Yeah. Well, now what's going on there? What's the beef there?
Well, Mel came out a couple days ago, and he said that in this coming draft, he would rank Andrew Thomas as the third best tackle in the draft.
Oh yeah, that was him. I looked at that. I just passed. I was like, how?
That was him. Well, my thought process is, what is your generalized stupidity that you think you could take a player from the 2020 draft and put him in the 2021 draft and then make that assessment because of the fact that A, he's got the 1 year of experience, B, he was dealing with the ankle injury, C, he had to deal with being alongside Will Hernandez and all the other problems the offensive line had. So he's potentially going to play hopefully better this coming up year. But to try to compare them, to add them to this draft is stupidity. And I've said it before, it's the bias of the certain media outlets such as ESPN and the NFL Network, who I think are still upset that the Giants wrecked Tom Brady's perfect season. And they've been, I mean, literally since 2011, when you're in 2007 too, they have been hyping on negativity on the Giants for I don't mean so. Pro Football Focus does the same thing on certain players with the Giants, but it just kills me that they not that they allow it, but that it's not as noticeable, except if you really are in the New York market.
Yeah, I looked at that. I really didn't. I really didn't understand where he was coming from with that. I thought he was saying that he would be the third best tackle on our team. I was like,
that's what I thought it was. But then he pontificates that it's a third best tackle in the draft.
I was like, that doesn't make any sense. There's two totally different drafts. And I would say that's not even true because I believe Andrew Thomas is better than Rashawn Slater.
Oh, I think he is too. I think he is.
I think he's on a different level than Rashawn Slater, if you ask me. But hey, it is what it is. Shoot, this tackle class, I put Matt Pert in the top 5. To be honest with you.
You know, it's actually funny. Yeah, I would. I would do the same thing.
Like, seriously, Pert could be late first or high second round pick in this draft coming up. But I normally don't listen to the media when it comes to the New York Giants. For some reason, for the past couple of decades, we have been a team that people love to trash, even when we were good.
Yep.
people trashed us. Even when Eli was there, they still trash Eli to this day.
Oh,
For
I know.
reasons unknown. I mean, I know he wasn't the greatest in the regular season, but what I can say about the guy, when he did get us to the playoffs, he delivered.
He did his job. Let me move my
Right.
camera here. I can't. I'm having a rough day today, man.
I
I was running late. I was putting grass seed down, and I was looking at the clock, going, "Damn, I got to run inside."
Man, I'd rather have a guy that gets me to the playoffs every 2 to 3 years, but every time we make it, we win a Super Bowl. Hey,
yep, that's all.
We got bragging rights. You can make it to the playoffs every year and not do anything. Falcons. They'll tell you. Falcons will tell you.
Because it's all about getting one of these.
Exactly.
If you don't have one of these, then that's all that matters.
Don't have anything. But I don't get it. It gives me great content to where I can react to it.
Well,
I'm gonna find that video. I'm gonna find that video and I'm gonna react to it. But other than that, man, I think the Giants are in a very good place. I mean, the only thing I'm gonna be real. The only thing that can really hold us back is injuries and Daniel Jones. It's the only two things I really think that could hold us back this year.
Well, it depends,
at least making a playoff run.
It depends on what we do in the draft. I mean, also the fact that the offensive line's still in flux. We don't really have. I would say I don't think we have solidified the linebacking core yet, and we really do not have an actual edge rusher outside of what's his name that we signed over from Washington.
Oh, that's I don't believe we brought him in.
But he is technically the only defensive end that we have on the roster.
Yeah, that's true. I got a question from Sonny D. She says, "Tim, are you hearing any rumors with the 11th pick?"
I am not.
I don't know if you've heard anything.
I have been working the phones diligently. I am still trying to. I've actually spoke to the gentleman Sunday, which was yesterday, who's the same guy that told me the Giants would never pass on Andrew Thomas, and he was 100% right. I'm getting a little bit of static about a couple players, but I'm not going to say who yet because nothing's been confirmed. But I will tell you it's on the defensive side. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to announce who I think the Giants should pick on the 26th of this month. But if I do find out any information, like I said, once I confirm it, I always do pass it along. I get information all the time, and a lot of it I kind of just throw to the wayside. But some of it's come true. But like I said, I was like when I said that Matt Rule was going to Carolina 24 hours before it happened and did a video about it, was because of the fact that I actually confirmed the rumors. And then that's how I knew that. So I don't like just giving out information until I can understand if it's accurate as possible.
Well, for the information you just said there, the guy's pretty accurate. But I'm hoping we take Devontae Smith or Waddle, because the more I think about it, the more legit it makes the offense.
Oh yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they took someone like Ojulari or even Kwity Paye. I believe Kwity Paye is back on the board now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe late if we trade down, but I can't see picking either of those two at 11.
Me either, but hey, you never know, man. You know, DG loves those defensive linemen, so I know he's not going to take a defensive tackle. But if the right defensive edge or defensive end is there, I don't see them not taking them.
You don't know. He might take a defensive tackle. It is Gettleman.
It just doesn't make any sense, though, Tim. Like we had defensive tackles galore.
Does anything they ever do make any sense, Gettleman? I mean, does anything that process?
No, you gotta give him a little bit of slack, man. Give him a little bit of slack.
Dave Gettleman all the slack in the world. I think I personally still think the Barkley pick was the right pick.
I believe it was absolutely the right pick. The way the quarterbacks turned out.
Yep, and I mean, even not using hindsight, I think that was the right move for the Giants. If you take a look, his first draft has not really panned out between BJ Hill and Lorenzo Carter and Will Hernandez and a couple of the other guys already got cut. So he really didn't have a good first draft, and we have to hope that draft that he had last year and last year he went more with projected talent, not immediate talent. So we have to kind of hope that fulfills itself and that a second draft class comes in. But I was just joking about him taking a defensive tackle because everyone was saying he'll go defensive tackle. But I give Gettleman credit, but it's you pushed all your chips to the middle of the table, so now it's time to put up or shut up.
Yeah, now that with that first draft class, I will say Lorenzo Carter was showing promise before he got hurt this year. And BJ Hill I think he just got caught with a bad situation when we drafted Dexter Lawrence. When we drafted Dexter Lawrence, we already had Dalvin Thomas, and then he traded for Leo Williams. That made his services, not as needed as much because he had a pretty doggone good rookie year. What he had like 5 sacks his rookie year,
four and a half sacks,
4.5 sacks.
But the problem is talent always gets on the field.
That's true too.
And if Patrick Graham thought he gave them the best opportunity to get to the quarterback, and a lot of times we were rotationally playing sometimes 3 defensive tackles at a time. But before O'Shane Ximines got hurt, he was playing more than BJ Hill, and O'Shane was not having a good year
whatsoever. Now I will say this: I believe he's a bust. I believe he's done. I don't have any faith in O'Shane Ximines on the edge at all. I'm praying he proves me wrong. I want him to prove me wrong, but he's gonna have to show me.
Yeah,
I believe Lorenzo Carter. I believe he's gonna step up and be a prime player on this defense. I don't ever think he's gonna be quite the edge rusher that we want him to be, being a 3rd round pick. But that guy's versatile, man. He can guard out the backfield. He's extremely fast, and he could cause disruption. If we could just get that one edge rusher where they know they have to double team, this defense will even go to another level.
Yeah.
But we have to find that. And in this draft, I say that's between Phillips and Ojulari. You're not going to get that from Ojulari immediately, but Phillips, his floor is pretty doggone good. I like Phillips a lot.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy. And I mean, we're gambling on health on all these players, really. Rudolph, Dory Jackson, Galladay, Barkley, Jones. Jones gets hurt too. So we're gambling on a lot of people when it comes to health.
Oh, I've said that a million times. I get blasted for it that I say, you know what? We brought in a lot of guys that are coming up off major injuries and gave them major money. I mean, that's
exactly.
I mean, that's what just kills me. I mean, you and you're right. You have Barkley we got to worry about. Daniel Jones, you have to hope he can actually play 16 games. We got spoiled for 16 years or 15 plus years that Eli never missed a snap.
Never missed a snap. Not a game. Never missed a snap. That's crazy. I'm gonna bring in the first caller, Tim. I'm gonna let Logan get in the stream. Logan, you there, bro?
What's going on,
man?
What's going on, Logan, man? Hey, tell your dad thank you for being from Mr. 300. That was funny.
How you guys doing?
What's going on, Logan? Go check out his channel. I'm gonna see if somebody could put the link to his channel in the chat so we can go ahead and get him subscribed up, get him some more subscribers.
Thanks.
Great drafter. He was doing mock drafts before a lot of people. But what's your question, Logan? You're definitely gonna be on the draft show. So.
All right, thanks. Do you think Kadarius Toney might fall to 42 and we could take an edge rusher in the first, or would you rather just solidify the receiving core in the first round?
You want to go first, Tim, or you want me to go first?
I'll take that first.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know about solidifying the position. I think at 11, and I've said this a million times, we need to not focus on position. We need to focus on best talent available. Because when you're thinking about solidifying a position, you're normally reaching. Now, if a receiver does fall, like I said, if Waddle falls, I'm all for Waddle. I'm all for bringing him in. I'm not against it, but we have to see what the best talent is and the best talent that's going to fit in the organization. And sometimes, like I said, the best talent is a position that you would never even think of. Like if Patrick Surtain Jr. falls down to 11, and both him and Waddle are there. I may have to think about taking Patrick Surtain because of the fact that Adoree Jackson's coming off the injury.
That's true.
We also the fact that you're going to hope that Darnay Holmes plays well. Logan Ryans is going to be a year older. Bradbury's already going to be in the second year of his contract. So we also have to think of the future. Now, in reference to drafting in the second round, like I said, second round, again, to me, it's available talent. Because we need a linebacker, we need an edge. We need a guard. I mean, so we kind of have to figure. And like I said, I don't want to reach for positions because the Raiders did that for years where they would reach, They would pick a guy at
Cleveland Farrell.
Yes, there you go. But you'd pick a guy at 10 that was probably ranked number 38th. So I don't want the Giants to fall into that trap.
Yeah. I honestly think the Joe Judge and the coaching staff has a lot more confidence in the offensive line than we do. And I think we could get a guard like Ben Cleveland in the third round instead of people are saying we can take an offensive lineman in the first. To be honest, I'd rather take a receiver or an edge and take a lineman in the second or third, to be honest.
I think that makes sense. And I've said it before. If you have a multitude of talent in the skill position, that's going to mask a lot of problems you have on the offensive line because they're not going to be able to stack the box.
Yeah. I like Kadarius Toney in the second one because have the Giants really ever had a gadget player, to be honest?
Besides, Dave Meggett, but he was more than a gadget player. But yeah, I mean that would be. We never had like a Pat White who was over in Miami.
Yeah,
no, we never. I don't think we really had any. I mean, Pat, I can't think of any.
The closest thing I could think to was like Ron Dixon back in the day, the first Super Bowl with Kerry Collins.
Yeah, but he was more just a returner.
Yeah. I don't think we've had a gadget player, and I know I can't think of. Maybe Tim can think of one way back in the day, but I can't think of one.
No.
If Kadarius,
it was going to be Tiki Barber until he developed it to a monster.
So he stopped fumbling.
Yeah.
If Kadarius Toney were to fall to 42, I would be amazed. After my number one comparison for him, I know it's two different positions, but when he has the ball, the way he runs with it after the catch is like Alvin Kamara.
Logan, to answer your question from earlier, I wouldn't mind us taking a receiver in the first round if Devontae Smith or Waddle was there, like Tim said. I believe we could get a decent edge in Joe Tryon in the second round. A lot of you guys need to look him up, man. That guy's a beast, man, and he's underrated. As far as offensive linemen, I know for a fact that Joe Judge and the coaching staff love the offensive linemen more than what we love them to be. We're going by sight, so they may know something that we don't know as far as the offensive line. They're with them every day. They're training with them every day, so they may know something. Shout out to Max that just appeared.
Well, you got to remember, they haven't seen anybody. They shut down the workouts, so they actually haven't seen it. I mean, the coaching staff is probably seeing the same amount of stuff that we're seeing because outside of lifting weights and everything, they haven't seen anybody.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they're reading something more than what we seen last year on the field. Maybe they like certain things that we're not seeing because they're there. They have the eye pass. They see every little detail. So maybe they're seeing something that we're not seeing. I don't believe our offensive line is in the danger zone. I believe our offensive line can hold up just fine, especially if we get a solid number 2 receiver. But we have so many options to go. I just don't want the Giants to reach for anybody. Don't sign a Vera Tucker or somebody because you believe you need an offensive lineman at 11. It's not worth it. Now, if we trade down, what you look at Dave Gettleman's history, he's never traded down in any draft that he's been a part of. He's been a GM for, I believe, 10 years with the Panthers and us. Never traded down. So I believe Joe Judge and him, they're going to take the best player available, and it depends on who falls to us.
Unless it's a quarterback.
Unless it's a quarterback. But most of the quarterbacks probably going to be gone within the first 8 to 9 picks. Because I'm hearing rumors that the Patriots are trying to trade up. They're talking to Dallas. They're talking to Miami for the number 6 pick. Mm-hmm. And we're a prime candidate to trade with because either they're going to get a Justin Fields or a Mac Jones. Mm-hmm. And the way it's looking, it may be Justin Fields to be had at the 11th position. So we got options. I'm not going to be mad with any pick unless we reach for somebody.
Unless it's a quarterback.
And it doesn't make sense to draft another quarterback if you don't believe in Daniel Jones. You go get a veteran with the offseason we have. You go get a veteran and see what he can do to see if he can take us anywhere. You don't get another rookie.
You got Mike Glennon, so we're not going anywhere unless Glennon gets hurt and Alex Smith's just retired. I mean, there's really nobody on the market for a veteran quarterback.
All right, we're gonna bring in the next caller. Matter of fact, Tim, let's just bring in the next 3, and we're gonna get some questions from them. And then, depending on how long you could be on, we're gonna wrap things up because I know you got other things you have to do.
Yeah, I got another podcast at 10.
Yeah, thank you for being a co-host too, because this came out of nowhere. It's like you're a big channel, so
I'm not a big channel. I'm an okay channel.
You're okay.
Yo, so we're gonna go in this order. Goat, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. We good?
Yeah, go ahead. Ask a question, bro. What you got for us tonight?
What would y'all like if we draft a linebacker in the first round and then draft wide receiver in the second round?
I would have
draft what in the first round?
A linebacker.
Only linebacker that would be drafted in the first round by the Giants will be Micah Parsons if he's there, and if he is there, we gotta hope that his troubles in the past haven't turned us off yet.
I don't want that trash.
I mean, hey, but you may call him trash, but I'm telling you, if he's on this defense,
talent is talent.
Right,
man. If he's on this defense, you're gonna see a whole other level.
You're gonna be surprised. Trust me.
I never questioned his talent level. I just don't want him pulling stuff on our team.
Yeah, well, Lawrence
not
was
going to
coming out of North Carolina.
Right.
I guess then again, Lawrence Taylor did go in a halftime and snort coke.
I mean, hey, look, I don't care. I don't care how high he was. He didn't mess with his body coaches, and he was every quarterback feared him.
Yep.
So I don't care how high he was on the field. Give him some more.
Right.
If he wants it.
And that's a fact. Hey, he might be snoring coke, but hey, he's injuring quarterback at the same time.
Right. But in the second, if we go Micah Parsons in the first round, I don't see us going edge or anything like that in the second round. Unless there's a receiver in the second round they really like, I believe they're going O-line in the second round if they take Micah Parsons. Most definitely. Zeke, you there?
Yeah.
All right. What's your question, bro?
What you call it? Would you like to have edge at 11? You know, the rumors are saying that we might get edge at 11.
If we go edge at 11, there's only between two people that I can even consider taking an edge at 11 in this year's draft because it's not that great of an edge draft. It'll be Jalen, not Gregory. Who said Gregory Rousseau? We probably get Rousseau in the third.
Don't sleep on Mr. 305. Everyone, you know what? If you look bad in shorts and sneakers on your pro day, it doesn't matter because nobody wears shorts and sneakers to play on Sunday.
Exactly.
It's how you play on the pads, and it's your game tape. Not how you can run straight.
I actually think the guy can actually be good in our defense. I just don't want to take him at 11.
No, I wouldn't take him at 11. No.
But
if we traded back, I would take him. But not at 11.
But at 11, it's hard to put an edge at 11 because it's either Phillips or Ojulari for me. And Ojulari is more of a project. He's like Lorenzo Carter 2.0 to me when I look at him, but I think he's a little bigger and he's a little bit more sound in his pass rush. And Phillips, you have to worry about the concussions. I'm reading more on his injury history, and it is pretty bad. If he does get another concussion, he may be forced to retire because those 3 concussions, UCLA literally turned him away from the program and told him he had to go because of the concussions. They couldn't afford him dying on the field. It was that bad. So that's crazy. I don't know how you get that many concussions playing defensive line, but like Tim told me, you're in the trenches every play. So I guess you're most susceptible to them.
Well, you're actually in defensive line. When I played, I actually had 11 known concussions through high school through college. So, and I know people, and this, like I said, this was back in the 80s. And I know people on the defensive line that had even more because the fact that, you're a lot of times you try not to lead with your crown of your helmet, but you're still hitting helmets almost every single play.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. I played fullback and defensive tackle, and I think through high school, they said I had 4 that I know of. So, hey, I'm still working around, but hey, those concussions he must have just been serious.
Hey, listen, like I said, I had 11 and I'm just fine. I had 11 and I'm just fine. I had 11 and I'm just fine. Oh, I'm sorry. What happened there?
10 second time.
What was we talking about again?
10-second Tim.
Right. Shout out to Max. If you could put his channel in the chat. I know I got the GOAT mod. You can get it in there. Go support his channel, the most professional
Appreciate it,
channel,
appreciate it.
most professional look of a channel.
This shit's got a 4K webcam.
Right. Max, what you got for me, big dog?
Yeah, man. Everybody's talking about what we're gonna do at 11. I want to know your guys' opinions because every year there's one team in the top 10 that just throws a monkey wrench in there, and everybody just goes, "Who the heck did they just pick?"
Cleveland
Like
Farrell.
the Raiders with Cleveland Farrell,
Daniel Jones.
Farrell, however you say that. The Giants took Daniel Jones at 6. A lot of people freaked out about that. I can't remember who last year was, but there's always one team that's just kind of like, why did we just take them there? You know what I mean? So I want to know who you guys think that's going to do that and who they might select it being in the top 10.
Yo, what I believe, there's 2 teams in the top 10 that hold a lot, or 3 teams that hold a lot of power. The Falcons, the Dolphins, and the Panthers. If either one of those teams pick somebody crazy, say the Panthers take Patrick Surtain the second or something, that's going to make teams want to trade up so bad to get to the number 10, 11 spot to grab that last quarterback that Dave Gettleman might not have a choice but to trade back to the amount of stuff that they're trying to give them, unless they love a person right there. Then the Falcons, they can either go Sewell, they can either go Pitts, or I've heard rumors that they may take Jamar Chase.
Right, but I'm saying
Because
these
they
are
may
all
try to
names
get
that
the
we
Falcons?
these are all names we see as top 10 players. I'm saying, like, do you see like Kwity Paye possibly going number 4 to the Falcons? Like players that aren't being really talked about as top 10. Like who do you see making a move like that? Because it seems like every
The
year
Panthers?
there's always one team.
The Panthers taking that defensive tackle Barrymore. I can see them doing that. I can
They
actually
just
see
got
them
a D
taking.
tackle last year, though.
Yeah,
If you
I
wanna say-
don't think the Panthers would go D-line this year. I mean, I'm telling you right now, the key to the draft and the key to the first round, the first 11, 10 picks is going to be the 49ers. Because you don't know if they're going to go Fields. You don't know if they're going Jones. You don't know if
I
you
don't buy
know-
this Mac Jones nonsense.
I don't buy
They're
the Mac
taking
Jones.
Justin
I don't buy
Fields.
Mac Jones either. Why would you trade up? Why would you
Because-
trade
you know
all
what?
of that to go up to
I
get a quarterback
words.
that's a game manager?
2 words: Mitchell Trubisky.
Yep.
What did the Bears do? I mean, they gave up the farm to move up. How many picks to get Trubisky?
One.
So there's always exactly. So you never know. There's always one team that's in love with some. I remember 2 years ago, we heard a rumor a couple days before the draft. There is a quarterback in the draft who is not even in the top 42, who may potentially go in the top 10. And we all sat there and said, God, please don't be the Giants. And who was it? Number 6.
Yeah. Daniel Jones, number 6.
What,
I kind of saw that coming though, because he has so many connections with the Mannings and with the Duke quarterback coach being the coach of the Mannings and quarterback. I saw so many connections there.
But you can't say he was the top 6 potential pick. Or,
No.
top player in that draft.
I'm just happy. I'm just happy we took him over Haskins.
Me too. Me too, because Haskins would have been even worse. Haskins is absolute trash.
Haskins' flabby grandma arm.
Man, like I knew he was gonna be trash. When I looked at him,
Ohio State
what I-
quarterbacks are always going to be trash.
I think Justin Fields breaks the mold, though.
Mm-mm.
I think Justin Fields breaks the mold. You know, it's always that one that breaks the mold. I think he could be that one. He's gonna have to show it to me, but I think he can do it, especially if he goes to someone like Atlanta where he could sit for a year. Or now, if he gets drafted by the Patriots, I think he's gonna have a good career. Even the 49ers, because they have like the top. This is weird. Like the top teams up there that's drafting these quarterbacks actually have good things going for them. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to change that Jaguars franchise because that AFC South is always up and down.
Bro, my dad thinks Trevor Lawrence is going to be Tim Couch.
No.
No.
Hell no.
Wait, Pat.
No.
But you really think Trevor Lawrence gonna change that team though?
If they build around him correctly, yes. Because I
mean,
think
that could be
type
said
of
for any quarterback, though. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
think
wait.
he said for
If you
any
build around a
quarterback.
if you build around an NFL quarterback correctly, while they're still young and can develop, they can succeed.
It's
Hey,
got to
Ryan-
be a quarterback.
Ryan Leaf was on the Chargers. He had
There
LaDainian
is so many. There is a litany of quarterbacks in the NFL who was built around with talent that failed. you have to have the talent. You have to have the talent to play the position. And Trevor Lawrence is a quarterback that we haven't seen in decades of the way he plays and his ability. I mean, you go back and he's not going to revolutionize the position like Joe Namath did, but he's going to be close in reference to resurrecting a franchise in Jacksonville. On the owner, he's going to put the money in, and as long as they protect him and give him the weapons, he's more than got the talent to make up for some of the team's deficiencies, and that's what a lot of times that's what your quarterback needs, especially when he's put in that type of situation. I think he's the type of guy that can do that.
Exactly.
For Trevor Lawrence's sake, I hope you're correct.
I think
Jacksonville's sake.
I actually think I'm one of the only people as an NFL fan who thinks Jacksonville is building something, because they're going to have their quarterback, they have their running back, they have a number one receiver in DJ Chark, and yes, I do think DJ Chark is a number one receiver. Yep. They got some defensive talent. Look at this dude laughing. You said Aaron Hernandez is the best tight end.
Stop. Just stop right there. The defense doing something?
I never said they were doing something. I said they got some defensive talent.
Like what?
Miles Jack. They're probably going to have Trayvon Marhig. They got Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
How many points are already given up?
Surprised if Trayvon goes top 20.
Yeah,
because he's the top safety. I don't
like know. Name another safety that's behind him that's decent.
Right. Don't be surprised if he doesn't last until the second round.
I'm kind of with Logan on this one, man. I believe the Jaguars.
I never said Jacksonville was a Super Bowl team. I said they might be building something.
Yeah, the Jaguars have a better chance than I could say the Jets.
Yeah.
Because the AFC South is so up and down. And with that problem with Deshaun Watson in Houston, Houston's already bad. And then
some news on that too. Apparently a lot of those are false.
Yeah. Come on, man. You're an organization with billionaires. Let's be real. You're in an organization with billionaires. These people just gave you $40 million a year. And then 1 year into the contract, you tell them you're not going to play for them anymore. Okay. You're not going to play for us anymore? Well, guess what? We're going to put a little dirt on your name before we get rid of you. We're going to ruin your image before we get rid of you.
I will say, apparently, 2 of them are legitimate claims that just Deshaun Watson is denying.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, nobody knows.
Right.
And you'll never know.
Only 2 people in the room, and nobody knows the truth. And honestly, Pat, I don't think they're going out there and trying to besmudge his name, because the fact that if they want to trade him, why are you going to knock down his trade value?
Because Deshaun Watson is a talent that's undeniable. I don't care what's on him. As long as he's not going to jail, somebody out there is going to give you some first-round picks for Deshaun Watson.
You wouldn't get the same amount of money. You wouldn't get the same amount of assets you would get if this wasn't happening. I mean, you were looking for, let's say, you were looking for 3 first-rounders, and this comes out. If I'm a team, I'm going to be like, well, listen, he's got problems. Even if he's not going to jail, this is going to be lawsuits and this, and I don't need the face of my franchise dealing with this. I'll give you a number 1 and a third, because of the fact that talent is talent, but if it's talent that can potentially impact the marketing capabilities of a franchise and put them in a bad light. Look what happened years ago with Philadelphia and Michael Vick. Michael Vick, after he came back, Philadelphia, I lived down the road in Philadelphia, man. That place was nasty to Vick. They had protesters going on for almost 2 full seasons. It just took, a coach with the guts to say, hey, listen, I'm not going to care. I'm blocking everything out. But the franchises, NFL franchises aren't like that anymore, because the fact that it's not only about football, it's about marketing, it's about selling jerseys, and it's about corporate image.
That's true as well. But let me say this. If the Houston Texans went to Chicago and be like, hey, you give us that offer that you offer Seattle for Deshaun Watson right now, we'll trade him right now. In the middle of these allegations, you don't think Chicago will pull that trigger?
Nope.
You really don't think Chicago will pull that trigger for Deshaun Watson right now?
Because there's too many red flags. There's still too many issues. What happens if he gets suspended by the NFL? What if some other evidence comes out and availability that they're
Antonio Brown 2.0?
Exactly. What if something comes out? What if there's a video? No, you can't risk those future assets for a guy that, yes, is undeniably talented, but can potentially not be there and cause a distraction for your franchise.
Yeah.
So I guess
Especially the
we're,
quarterback.
Exactly.
I guess we're a little bit different when it comes to being an owner. How I think of an owner is, I got this guy. If I trade for him, I got him locked up for 5 years. So even if he goes to exempt list, let's just say for this year, I still got him for 4 years, and he's in his prime. He's not going to be out of his prime for a good 6 to 7 to 8 years. And I got a franchise quarterback. Like, there's no denying this dude is not a franchise quarterback. One of the best quarterbacks in the league, immense talent. I'm taking a chance. I'm going to get him.
But you're also sacrificing your franchise and the future of your franchise via your draft assets for a guy that you were just saying would not play for a year. So you're going to be really bad for that year, and you traded your first round. Let's say you traded your first round pick, and you're really bad that next year. And let's say that pick is like first overall or second overall. So now you're on the hook for this guy for $40 million. Plus the fact that you could have had the first overall draft pick, which probably would have cut your salary cap revenue in half. And it would allow you then to, like I said, sell the jerseys, sell everything. Owners are about making money, bottom line. There are some owners that are like, yeah, all of them want to win. But at the end of the day, it's the bottom line. It's the bottom line of their revenue.
Yeah, that's very true. I still think this guy's going to sell jerseys. I still think this guy's believe me, I think he's going to get a smack on the wrist from the league, maybe an 8-game suspension, and he's going to go on being Deshaun Watson again. I believe this is the Houston Texans going like, hey, look, you're not getting out of here just like that. We just gave you this contract. You're supposed to be our franchise, and you think you're going to leave us with nothing? No.
I kind of agree with both of you guys, because like nowadays, especially in the NFL, it's money talks. Your channel was monetized walks, so –
well, look. This whole ordeal came out right after he said he didn't want to play for the Texans anymore. It comes from a lawyer who's the ex-owner's neighbor. This came out of nowhere. Now, I do believe Deshaun Watson was being irresponsible. I will say that. Like, if you're worth that much money, man, you just be responsible with what you're doing out here.
Now, Paul, let me ask you this real quick. Is it possible? I'm not saying this is the case because I have no clue, just along with everybody else. But is it possible that half of the reason Deshaun Watson wanted out so badly is because maybe he thought or knew that something like this was going to come and catch up with him eventually?
There you go.
Could be possible. It could be very possible. And like I said, if so, talent speaks, man. A talent can get you out of a lot of situations, especially if it's something. I'm not saying this is minor, but it's not like a Greg Hardy situation or a Ray Rice situation where
O.J. Simpson.
It was visual evidence of them doing what they were supposed to do, or Chris Brown, like us with the kicker. You remember?
That doesn't even matter anymore either, because Kareem Hunt's still playing in the league.
That's right.
That's true.
But
Antonio Brown's still in the league.
There was a video with Hunt.
Antonio Brown.
What he kicked her in the butt or something, didn't he? Did he like?
No,
he like beat her.
I didn't see that video.
Yeah, but the hotel video, hotel security cameras.
Antonio Brown's still in the league.
That was a money grab too. This is like around the same type thing.
Man.
Antonio Brown was out of league because he's just Antonio Brown. He was too wild. He was
too Antonio Brown is what he was.
Yeah, he was too much of a distraction. I just think this is going to pass over, and Deshaun Watson is going to be Deshaun Watson in about a year.
That's how it always goes.
He's going to get like an 8-game suspension. All this stuff is going to go away, and then he's going to be playing for a new franchise.
That's how it always works.
Not always, but most of the time, yes. But
what were you saying, Jaden? You were trying to get my attention, but you were lagging a bit there.
Oh, don't forget Tyreek Hill being his own child.
Oh yeah, that's true. Forgot about that.
You said Adrian Peterson?
Yeah, no, Tyreek Hill.
Well, that turned out not to be true. That turned out not to be true. Yeah, it turned out not to be true. Adrian Peterson, you gotta look how strong that dude is, man. I don't think he was recognizing his own strength when he was disciplining his child and he wound up hurting his child. That's a different story as well. I believe he lost a year, didn't he?
Yeah,
They
but
suspended him for a whole year, right?
he admitted to discipline. I mean, it's not that he really hurt the child, but he admitted to physically disciplining his child with a switch. Now, anyone that's like I said, I got a lot of friends in the South. I know a friend in Georgia that'll tell you, when he was a kid, and again, like we're older, but it was go get me the belt or go get me the switch. So that doesn't fly today, but back in the 70s.
I mean, back in the 70s and stuff, that was normal. Shoot, back in my day when I was young, that was pretty much normal. You got your butt beat. You did something stupid, you got your butt
Trying
beat.
to go on a little tangent here, but I used to live in Louisiana for a little while, right? When I was in like kindergarten, whatever. And you used to be able to sign a waiver if you acted up at school. The teachers would get to beat you.
Yeah, you get the paddle.
Yeah.
Back in when I was little, it was the ruler. You get hit in the middle of your palm.
Yep. That's how it be.
But I mean, it's a crazy world out here. But me as an owner, when you got an asset like that, man, that dude can lead your franchise. If you put a decent franchise around him, he can lead you to the playoffs and maybe to the Super Bowl. I just hated that he was irresponsible in his actions, what he was doing. You got to know these things could come back up to you the way this world. You're worth millions of dollars, bro. Extortion is real. even like, I hope the rumors aren't true, but even if they're not true, you're still guilty. You're gonna have to pay some money regardless. This is a money grabbing world. When you're worth that much, people are gonna try to find ways to get in your pockets. Just being honest with you, and hopefully you're out here doing the right thing. And another thing that hurts him, I will say this: he had a squeaky clean image before this. That's why it's so surprising. Like, nobody knew anything like this could happen to Deshaun Watson. Man. Yeah,
it's always who you least expect. I'm not saying he did or didn't, but I'm just saying that's how these things go. It's the person you least expect to do these things, and then something comes out, and if it turns out to be true, you just are shocked.
Ask DeAndre Baker.
Hey, look, he was irresponsible as well, man. Like, what are y'all doing gambling over petty money, man? You worth millions. You're a first round draft pick. What are you
allegedly
doing?
Though? Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah. I don't get people that do this. Like, there's literally no point.
Like,
you're just gonna lose all your money. And you shouldn't even do it if you have $0. There's literally no point. You're just being stupid.
Well, because of the fact that you've grown up with entitlement as a professional, as a player, that you pretty much know that you're going to go pro or have an idea, and you're kind of like you feel like you can do anything. I use the example of LeBron James. LeBron James back in the day, while he was in high school, was driving around in a $50,000 Hummer.
Exactly.
And the thought process was, this is what he told people, his mom bought it for him. And this was his year. I mean, this was his senior year in high school. His mom bought it for him. And then it turned out his mom was being paid by the boosters, but he didn't care because he knew he was going to go pro.
Did you say $50,000 Hummer?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know where LeBron James is from, so you know there's no way his mom was going to be able to afford to give him a $50,000 Hummer.
Yeah.
You can do things like that when you have a $90 million Nike contract in high school.
Yeah, and this was back, way in the, in the early 2000s. So a $50,000 Hummer is like it's like a $100,000 car now.
Yeah, right. Like that was crazy. And I don't think he never got in trouble for that.
They investigated, and then, like I said, he was going pro. So I mean, what was he gonna do?
But this guy, he had chosen one on his back in high school, exactly. So you already know
he had the talent, so he knew he could just get away with whatever he wanted to do.
So you already know what the league had in store for him when he was getting into the league. Major marketing dollars. He's probably made more off the court than he's made on the court. Yep. I could pretty much guarantee that. Overseas in China, he's real huge. Man, like the endorsement deals this man gets, and then I don't believe this Space Jam 2 movie is going to be any good, but I guarantee you hits over the $100 million mark.
The first one wasn't very good either. So.
Exactly. And look how much that money, that movie made.
That was a monster.
Like, so I when it comes to off-field issues, when you're an owner, man, if they already know before everybody else knows what's going to go down. So if you see a team still give up 2 to 3 first-round picks for him, you know that he's good. Like, nothing's gonna happen to him. But I just say with a player like that, with a talent like that, you guys cannot tell me that dude's not a top 5 talent at quarterback in this league.
He's a top 2.
Top 2. Nah.
He led the league in passing yards.
Wait.
Somebody got the.
Somebody's echoing.
Is it me?
I feel like if you were the one. No, it's
No.
not you.
Hold on.
Is it me?
Is it me?
Is it me?
Hold on.
It's everyone except him.
Say something.
Hey,
Now say something.
hey,
Now say something.
hey.
Yeah, it's GOAT. Now say something.
Hey.
Yeah, it's GOAT.
Unmute him quick.
Go.
Wait, how's it me though?
Oh, man. It
It
was
just
somebody.
stopped.
It just stopped. I don't know
It
what
was
it was.
Satan, we're good. It was Deshaun Watson's ghost. We're all right.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Hey, but you said
Yeah.
top 2?
That was
No,
about
he's
to-
not top 2
Top
yet.
4. Top
Wait,
4,
hold
top
on.
4.
Yeah, it was cool. Y'all repeated because Deshaun Watson didn't like it.
Yo, but you got
Ghost
man.
of
I don't
Deshaun
know
Watson.
because
Yo,
you
it's
know,
the ghost
big-
of Deshaun Watson's past.
but you know, Big Ben back in the day got away with what he got away with. He didn't even get a slap on the wrist when he was being charged with allegations. So, I mean, it goes however it goes. The owners, they have something to do with it, as well as Deshaun Watson and as well as the lawyer. Money's going to have to be paid. Once the money is paid, everything will be fine.
Bro, Ben
Believe it or not,
Roethlisberger. Sorry,
believe it or not, every crime in this society has a money marker on them. If you got enough money, you can get out of it. I promise you.
Ben Roethlisberger just looks like a creepy uncle that would do that.
But back to Giants football, man. Listen, just don't reach with that first pick. I'm only going to be mad if they do 3 things. If they
Do you
draft
consider
Gregory
Vera
Rousseau,
Tucker a reach?
yes.
Yeah.
That's one of my pet peeves. If they reach on an offensive lineman, if they take Gregory Rousseau, or if they take a defensive tackle, that's the only 3 things that would piss me off about this
Or a
draft.
running back or a quarterback.
Wait. Also Kyle Pitts. I will rage at that one the most.
Hmm?
I
I
won't
don't
rage
want
too
Kyle-
much with
That
Kyle
means
Pitts.
Evan Ingram's out.
I'll be
I
mad.
would be happy.
Nah,
Kyle Pitts isn't going to happen. We brought
Kyle
Kyle
Pitts
Rudolph
isn't going to
in
happen,
here.
but I
Kyle
would be
Pitts
happy.
is not going to
He-
be there.
Even if he's there at 11, I don't think the Giants pick him.
Like I'm gonna go one by one and starting with Tim. Who would be your dream pick at 11? Like the absolute person, the dream pick that you would want at 11.
Being semi-realistic?
Semi-realistic.
My dream pick at 11
Trevor Lawrence.
is going to be, you're going to have to wait till April 26th.
Okay.
That's when my video comes
What?
out.
Yeah. The way to
Nice one.
I will say
It's a good pick.
a lot of this thing this guy says it does happen, so you might want to listen to him. Go ahead, Logan. Who would be your dream pick?
Rashawn Slater.
Okay. Max.
No. Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase would be my dream pick.
Yeah, you got to be realistic. That man's
Yeah,
not
you
going
gotta
to
be
be at
realistic.
11. He might not be past 5. I'll be surprised if he gets past 5 if Penny Sewell is drafted by the Falcons. Max, who you got, bro?
You know, my dream pick, if we're staying at 11, is probably just going to be best available offensive lineman. I'm all for making no more excuses for Daniel Jones. But on a real note, I'm not giving up on him because I think he's going to have a good year. But I would rather trade back, not because I feel like we can get a better edge rusher there, but because if we go into this year and Daniel Jones proves that he's not the guy, then we have more ammunition going into next year's draft to maybe make a push or something for a quarterback that they might like going into next year. And that's not me saying I'm giving up on Daniel Jones. I think he can do it. But if for some reason he comes out there this year and he just proves that his mental hurdles are just too big to overcome, I'd rather have the picks to move up next year to go after a quarterback that they might like.
Okay, go. What you got, man?
I just talked to 2 people, the left hand and the right hand. One said Jalen Waddle, the other said Michael Parsons. I have to choose. Parsons. That the right hand chose Parsons.
Okay. Okay.
And also, wait. He said Matt Jones over Daniel Jones. I'm so
Yeah.
bad. He's trolling. Yeah, he's trolling.
So
He's
you
trolling.
see Mac Jones over Daniel Jones.
Trolling. It's all trolls. I
So you
see.
go for the
Like,
little
what's this love affair with Mac Jones all of a sudden, man? Like,
Who?
Mac Jones?
like,
Bro, KP is simping for Mac Jones
Look.
more than K Adams, and it's getting scary.
look, if you're drafting Mac Jones to be your playmaker, you're in a
If
for a
you're
huge
drafting Mac
surprise.
Jones, you're
Thank
drafting
you.
Kirk Cousins.
Listen, that's a fact.
And that's
Listen,
not a bad thing if you have a good team around him. Like
Yeah.
with the Patriots, I believe he would do just fine.
Facts.
Yeah. When is
But
last
the
time?
49ers, you got
Alabama
somebody like that in
quarterbacks this season.
Garoppolo already. Why
Mhm.
would you
Pat-
draft another guy like that?
Pat, what's the last time an Alabama quarterback succeeded in the NFL?
Jeez. Did Joe Namath go to Alabama?
Joe Namath.
Oh, look it up. Yep, Joe Namath. There you go.
Yeah, I think Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, to be
Tua
fair, is the most,
Tagovailoa.
Tua's in trouble with the Dolphins. They're thinking about
to be honest,
And also-
in my opinion, Joe Namath is the most overrated quarterback in NFL history.
overrated
Okay.
quarterback. There's a lot of overrated quarterbacks. I can tell you one right now that's going to be overrated. Philip
One
Rivers.
of the most over. Philip Rivers is one of them too. One of them. He's top 10 most
Matt
overrated.
Stafford.
Matt Stafford. I like Matt Stafford. bro.
Wait. If that's the case, could we say Jared Goff soon?
Jared Goff.
I mean, I don't know if
everyone
anybody's
knows he's just
overrating him.
alright.
I don't think anybody's
Yeah.
overrating him. I don't think Matthew Stafford is going to make the Rams like this superhuman team. I think they're going to be a little bit better because he got a little bit better of an arm, but they're not going to be this superhuman team everybody's picking them out to be. Unless Deshaun Jackson goes crazy.
Jared Goff. Jared Goff kind of looks like Gumby. Like that's his player build.
Jared Goff is really about to find out what the NFL is about and about
With
Pretty
that
much.
offensive line, he's gonna.
well, when
Yeah.
he plays with the Lions, he's going to find out a whole lot.
It's all right if they come after him to take him down, he'll just bite the teammates' kneecaps. That's
Yeah,
it.
bite their
That's
kneecaps.
what they're gonna do.
I'll
Wait,
tell you,
wait,
that
good-
guy. I forget his name. I don't know his name, but he was trying to be the next Joe Judge, saying we're gonna be an
the new
aggressive
Lions head
mentality.
coach,
We're gonna
yeah.
punch you in the nose for 60 minutes. He's like, I might as well just copy this guy.
Yeah.
He legitimately
wait.
said we're gonna bite your guys' kneecaps off for 6
We're gonna
months.
Three
fall down,
times.
then we're gonna bite your kneecap off, then we're gonna fall down again, then we're gonna bite your other kneecap off, then we're gonna get up and bite your face off.
Man, he said they were going to get knocked out 3 times and rise back from the dead and
And
bite
also
some
that-
kneecaps 3 times.
Last time I checked, Detroit can't rise back from the dead.
Exactly. Them dudes been dead for years, but
They've been rebuilding since
you know
Night
what?
Train
They
Lane retired.
ruined some pretty good people, though, man. When you can ruin Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, that is an accomplishment.
Bro, the Lions have been
When
rebuilding
you
since.
make 2 of the best of all time retire early, that is an accomplishment in itself. I don't know how you do that.
Detroit has been rebuilding since Dick Night Train Lane retired in like 1960.
I think they've won 1 playoff game in the past 40 years. That was when Barry Sanders and them upset the Cowboys back in the day, I believe, like in 97 or 98. But other than that, I've seen what they have done. That's terrible. What else was I getting ready to say? Tim, how much time you got left, bro? Because I gotta let you get your final thought in.
Yeah, I got about 7 minutes. I'm gonna add one final thought. The whole Joe Namath thing, and I think people need to understand Joe Namath. Yes, he is overrated in reference to a passer if you look at his statistics, but what he did for the NFL in that
Right.
Super Bowl
That's true. I forgot about that.
is beyond recognition. Plus, he is the first quarterback to throw for over 4,000 yards in a season. And they weren't playing 16 games back then. So when you compare errors in reference to individuals, you can't just look at their statistical data. Because also back in the 60s and the 70s, I've said it before, you could go out in the field with a lead pipe as defensive back, hit the wide receiver, knock him to the ground, kick him, go home to his house.
Bite their kneecaps off.
Exactly. Kick his dog, date his wife, and they still didn't fall flat.
Right.
Date his side chick.
I
And
laugh when they say with Daniel Jones, he only had 2.5 yards of separation. Ask players how Lester Hayes used to play. There was no, or Jack Tatum. There was no separation.
Oh, God,
They
Jack
tried to
Tatum.
separate your head from your body,
Exactly.
but they did not allow.
Clothesline.
They always say you had that first 5-yard cushion, and you were lucky at times with Lester Hayes if he did not kill you in that first 5 yards.
Exactly. And then Joe Namath put the AFC on the map.
He did.
Like it might not even be NFC AFC if it wasn't for
That's
Joe
true.
Namath, because they looked at the AFL as the lesser football league, and then
And
he
after the
predicted.
first couple Super Bowls, it was.
Yep. And he predicted that he was going to go to the big dogs and beat them, and he did.
He
Predicted it.
guaranteed a win.
And he was one of the first ones that brought Flash to the game. If that means anything to you, he was one of the first ones around the fur coats, the women.
Fur coats on the
Predictions?
sidelines.
Yeah, the predictions. Like he was one of the first Antonio Browns. He didn't take it as far as Antonio Brown, but he made it cool to be a part of the game.
He took it further than
Yeah, back in those, I bet you if there was a social media like that back in the day, Joe Namath would have been suspended.
He owned a nightclub that the NFL made him sell during the first couple of years because of the fact that it was mob related. The actual mob was part of the club. So I mean, he was doing stuff back in the day that you think about now. It's like imagine if you were an NFL player now and you owned a club that was mobbed up.
Daniel Jones.
Right.
Too.
I mean, I don't think the league would be very happy about that. And all they did is tell, hey, Joe, just sell the club. That was it. And that was the end of that. You never heard, I wasn't alive for them, but you never heard the rest of the story for that.
Now they're like, you got to sell your soul to the devil. You got to go do this. You got to go do that. You got to go do that.
Right. Like Joe Namath was the man. Now I will say this. You can't say Eli's not a Hall of Famer. If you let people like Joe or Phillip Rivers or Dan
Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer and Eli Manning is not, I'm going to shoot myself.
Like, I guess people look at his regular season record and hold him to that. I believe Eli led the league in interceptions, 3 times?
3 times.
3 times. Like Brett Favre led the league in interceptions how many times?
I think he leads the NFL all-time in interceptions.
And guess what? He got more rings than Brett Favre. And he's beat the GOAT twice.
And he's one of, I think, 4 quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl MVP more than once.
Yeah, I think he won it twice.
And also, Pat, if Eli Manning is not in the Hall of Fame, I'm going to threaten someone's life. That's guaranteed.
Like, threaten Deshaun Watson.
If you want to be, if it was like how Deion Sanders or how like a Warren Sapp explains it, then yes, he's not a Hall of Famer. If you look at the way they explain it, because those players like Warren Sapp, people don't know how great Warren Sapp really was. Like that dude was an absolute monster when it came to playing a defensive tackle position. Like nobody that big should have been moving that fast and had that many moves to get to the quarterback the way he did. The closest person I see to him is Aaron Donald. I think he can surpass Sapp if he plays about 6 more good years. I believe he'll surpass Sapp. But you got to remember, Warren Sapp retired at the age of, I believe, 33 or 34 because the Raiders just took it out of him. But some of his worst seasons, he got 10 sacks in.
I was in Tampa Saps last year before he got traded in 2003. And I can tell you right now, he was already going downhill when they moved him to the Raiders. The Tampa Bay Bucks were trying to get out of salary cap purgatory after that last Super Bowl, which they were kind of in for 2 seasons afterwards because they went 7-9 and 5-11. So Sapp was already on the downside of his career when they moved him over to the Los Angeles Raiders are at that. No, it was the Oakland Raiders at that time.
It was the Oakland Raiders at that time. They moved so many times you forget where they at. But yeah. Sapp was great, man. If you explain it the way they explain it, then yes, maybe you have a reason to leave Eli Manning out. But when you're letting people, no disrespect, like Terrell Davis get in there. Sorry, Terrell Davis played 5 years, 5-6 years, and he's in there. He did have a 2,000-yard season. That's great.
But then you have to look at people like Gale Sayers. Sayers only played 5 years and he made it. But again, like Joe Namath, he revolutionized the position at tailback. And Terrell Davis had such a prolific career over that 5-year period. Which was only curtailed by injuries, same as Gale Sayers.
Exactly like Gail said. Hey, you know what? I think I'm doing pretty well on the channel, man. I got my first troll.
Nah,
This guy's been going at it.
he's not a troll, man. He's on my channel all the time. He's
Okay.
on with Bad Dog. So he is the man. He's not a troll. He's actually he's actually an excellent commenter, and actually has some really good insights. So,
But please don't wish that on us. Not if we get Gregory Rousseau, it better be in the second round. It better be in the second round. I can't take him at number 11.
I will say Gregory Rousseau might be the best pick that can happen for the fan base, because right now everybody is so split and undecided on who they want, but everybody can agree that we don't want Rousseau, so it'll bring the fan base closer together.
There's only a few picks at 11 that would make my monitor not exist anymore.
Because we have so many options.
It would have to be Greg Rousseau. It'd have to be Patrick Surtain. It'd have to be Mac Jones, a running back in the first round, and that'll probably do it. But if any of those players get taken by the Giants at 11, my monitor will not be a thing anymore.
And speaking of running back might not go in the first round, period. The way
there will be.
There'll be someone later in the.
It's going to be Harris for the Jets.
I think ETN is going to be picked before Najee Harris. To be honest,
I think Harris is the best running back in the class.
I know he's the best running back in the class.
It's a fact.
But that doesn't mean he's going to get picked first.
Yeah,
and that's a good question by Saeed. That's how you say it. You said, "How can you hate Surtain?"
I don't hate Surtain. I just don't think the Giants need another corner in the first round.
What if Jackson doesn't come back from an injury? What if Darnay Holmes is going to be more effective in the slot? What if poor Logan Ryan,
Julian Love?
Yeah, but you can't
Love has to play corner now going on 2 years.
Isaac Yiadom.
You're going to have to
you can't take a player. In my opinion, you can't take a player in the first round just to be like, what if this happens? You can't take a player due to that.
But if he is at 11, I'm going to tell you right now, he should probably go within the top 10.
He's not going to go. He's going to be Dallas is where he's going to go.
He's going to be Dallas. I still say, but and I've heard it before. I've heard Atlanta is looking at him.
I heard Atlanta.
In one of my drafts, I had them taking the corner.
Isaac Yiadom is so not. Yeah, he is not. Yes, he is not. He is a good commenter, man. He is not, and that's a joke on my channel that Yiadom is our. I always say CB2, CB3. I always say he's our CB7.5.
I don't know if you guys are like DC fans or whatever. The 2019 Giants secondary is the theatrical cut of Justice League. The 2021 Giants secondary is the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Our secondary does have a chance to be pretty doggone good. I will say, if no injuries happen and they gel the way they're supposed to gel, because it doesn't matter how many people you pick up, if they don't gel, you're not going to be good. Philadelphia Eagles, super team. I'll always go back to that. DRC, Asamoah became a shell of himself when he went to the Eagles.
Became a cricket shed.
Like, man, he went from being on par with the Darrelle Reeves to being Isaac Yiadom. In like a year or two.
No, he's that bad.
Man, Asamoah was getting destroyed out there.
It's still not turned around in the in the Chicago game. He's still looking the wrong way.
Bro, on any team, in the NFL, Isaac Yiadom is the best cornerback number 9 in the league.
Look. Isaac Yiadom is still here. We got Sam. Did Sam Bill finally get released, or
no? But he won't make it past.
He won't make it.
Yeah, he might be hurt again. Just stay hurt. Julian Love, I don't trust him at outside corner.
He hasn't played.
He didn't play bad against Dallas.
Yeah, he's still on the team.
Corner.
He was corner number 2 for that game.
Sam's still on the team.
That final Dallas game, he played CB2.
Well, I still don't trust him as a CB2. I'm sorry.
Julian Love, hell no.
But it's one game, though. It's one game.
Right. So I'm not saying he's our starting CB2, but I'm saying if Adoree Jackson goes down, it's definitely in the cards to throw him in there.
Well, it's the same point with Slater. Everyone's talking about Slater and Chase Young. Okay, that was 4 quarters. That was 4 quarters in your college career, and I'm supposed to use that to pick you at 11?
Right.
No, I want Slater to play interior.
And Slater
That's
would
what
play interior.
He's gonna have
Right.
it.
Put
Hey,
him,
that-
put him
that-
next to Parrott on the right side, and I am happier than a pig in mud.
That's one thing Tim got on about as well that I'm thinking about too. If you draft a tackle at 11, you want him to play tackle. You don't want to move him to guard.
We don't want
Not
another
necessarily. Look at Dallas.
I think that's different talent. I don't think Slater's the same type of talent. We did the same thing. What did we draft? Pugh at 14? Was there something around? I can't remember. And we moved him to guard. And it's not that he had a bad career, but would I sit there and say he was an all pro? I mean, if you're going to draft a tackle at 11, to Pat's point, you need to draft a tackle, not a guy that you're going to move to the interior of the line when you'll probably have players that have top 5 or top 7 talent dropping to you at 11 because of the fact that all the quarterbacks are going.
Here's a question for you, Tim. If you're at 11, right, and you have Rashawn Slater and Elijah Vera Tucker sitting there, who do you trust more to play your guard spot for your offensive line?
I'm not taking either one of them at 11.
Right, but I'm saying who would you trust more? If that's the move that the Giants feel like is their biggest need, then they're going to take the best player available
And
for the
if
need
you
the team has.
If you reach for need, then you are reaching. If you reach for a position via need, all you're doing is reaching. And
But
that's
how is Rashawn Slater at 11 reaching if he's being talked about as possible top 8 pick? How is that a reach?
there. Let's take a look at Zach Bond. Zach Bond last year, especially with Giant fans, was going in the first round. We were picking him. He went third round. Just because they're saying he's going to be a top 10 pick. How many players have we heard that are going to be in the top 10 that fell down to 23?
Aaron Rodgers is supposed to be the
Fell
number
down
one
to
pick.
Gregory Rousseau.
I mean, how many people have fallen into the third or fourth round just because someone's saying that, or the talking heads are saying that, or we're saying that? It doesn't mean.
Right, but I'm saying, how can you see that as a reach if he's being said as if he should go in the top 10 and we take him at 11? How is that a reach? That's my question.
I don't think he's top 10 talent. And I think to Pat's point, if you're going to draft an offensive lineman, you should draft him at his position, not with the hope that you are going to be able to move him to an interior position and that he will excel.
I would rather Ben Cleveland in the third than a tackle that you can move to guard.
I would rather have a player that I know has immediate talent at the position that he's drafted at, instead of hoping that I have the versatility in a guy just because. And he's
There's your key word, versatility. This Giants coaching staff loves it.
But if he has the versatility, you don't know that.
We
Nobody.
don't know if Slater has versatility.
We don't.
We're just assuming.
We may put him at guard, and he may be the worst guard we have. We may keep him at tackle.
Then you play him at tackle.
But then
you
again, then you have Andrew Thomas, and then you've drafted Matt. So I mean,
you don't got much invested in Matt Parrott. If you have 2
He's a
first-round
third-round
tackles, then you play your first-round
I
tackles.
will say this, man. We got a 3rd-round pick invested in him. That's not a real low pick.
It's not a pick that you look
It's
at
nothing.
and say like,
And also,
no,
I'm not arguing with you, Tim. I just like debating opposite perspectives. Okay.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying anything below the 5th round is a garbage pick. There's so much talent within. It's usually in drafts within the first 3 to within 3 to 5 that players cultivate. That's where a lot of times you build your roster, is in that 3 to 5 range. We grabbed a plethora of defensive players 7th, and we have to hope that Cam Brown, Carter Coughlin, Tate Crowder, everyone else turns around and actually excels. But if they don't excel, who cares? It was a 7th round pick. But if you're still in the money picks 3 to 5, and I can tell you, I've sat in NFL meeting rooms where they've spent more time looking at the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round pick than they did examining who they were going to take overall, because they knew their depth was going to be built in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
Now,
and with that said, Tim, let me ask you, if that is the case, then why do fans get so upset over 1 pick in the 1st round?
Because they're fans.
right.
By the way, guys, I'm not seizuring. My neck just hurts.
I hope not, bro.
Wait. And also, I kind of do agree with Logan. We could get Ben Cleveland in the 3rd round. Because, look, we need a guard who could pass protect. We just need offensive line who could pass protect. We already got the line who could block people for the run. For the pass, it's been bad.
Wait,
Hey, I'm liking this guy more and more.
Saeed, I tell you, man,
Slater is grabbing. He has a tendency to duck his head.
This is because he's a smart guy. Because he listens to my channel. And that's everything that I've said. If you are playing on the offensive line, I've heard this a million times, and I've heard this from actually professional offensive line coaches. When you take your head and tuck it down at point of impact, that is the worst way to play on the offensive line because you cannot see. And the first thing someone's going to do, and I've done this so many times, you're going to go right in with a swim move because you cannot see.
You're going to Shane Lemieux him.
So it could be Eric Flowers 2.0. And Eric Flowers didn't figure it out until he went to Washington and then
got moved to guard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my dream.
Hypothetically, let's say this. Hypothetically, this is for Tim and Max. I might be able to change Tim's perspective on this. And this is the only way I would change my perspective on Rashawn Slater. If you knew that if you drafted Slater, you moved him to guard at 11. If you moved him to guard, he has Pro Bowl potential at guard, and you knew this. He was going to make a Pro Bowl in the future at guard. Whether it's his first
you just said potential. That's different than
no. He's going to look. He's going to make a Pro Bowl within his first 2 years at guard. Okay. Would you take him at 11?
Absolutely, no question.
But if he knew he was going to be a Pro Bowler, why would he even be at 11? I mean, if I knew he was going to be a Pro Bowler and I was picking 6th, I would take him at 6.
But we have the 11th pick, so he drops to 11 for some miracle.
But this way scouting is. Everyone knows what everyone knows because everyone gets the same access. It's just how you evaluate the talent.
Max, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I can't see us taking Slater at 11 because if we're drafting a tackle that high, I want him to play tackle because that's a very important position.
And
we have guards.
That's what camp is for, though. You have him compete at both, and wherever your best players are is where you start the season. That's what your camps are for.
And also,
maybe I just want a player that I know that's going to make an impact when he first gets here at 11 because the way the team has been built. Maybe that's why I'm not liking him as much. And the film study that I'm getting is not coming back to me like, yes, this dude is legit. Like, he's going to be it. It doesn't come out to me like that. And if I'm wasting almost a top 10 pick, I want to make sure that I know for a fact this guy is closest to a sure thing that I can get to. Is that possible? No, but I at least want the feeling of that. I don't get the feeling of that from Rashawn Slater. I get like Matt Pert. He feels the exact same way to me like Matt Pert. I love the pick in the 3rd round, but if we would have took Matt Pert in the 1st round, I'd be like, hell nah. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I was just about to say,
at his film, that ducking of the head. And I know PJ, he said that's why he translates better to guard. But if you duck your head at guard and you're not getting the punch at guard, they're just getting to the quarterback even quicker.
And they're going to go through the interior. I mean, they're going to go through the interior. So, I mean, it's like I said, anytime you duck your head, and anyone that's played the game, if you duck your head to make a tackle,
it's a wrap.
Bad things happen. I mean,
the neck snaps off. That's
never lead with the crown. First thing they tell you is never lead with the crown of your helmet. Make sure you square your shoulders. Make sure you drive the tackle, and make sure your eyes are looking forward. Because I was taught that in high school, I was taught that in college, and I saw them teach that in the pros because you need to see what's going on the field. So that's why a lot of teams and players get concerned when they see an offensive lineman duck his head at the point of impact.
Exactly.
You have no clue what's going on in your surroundings.
Well, I guess my point to all this, though, too, is anybody you take in the draft, even if his name is Trevor Lawrence and you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're drafting him based on potential, right? Nobody is guaranteed to be a great at the next level.
That's
and it comes down to you trust your coaching staff to be able to figure out those kinks and coach these players to play the correct way to play to their best abilities. It's not about like you were talking about wide receiver earlier, right? I believe that currently this wide receivers group is at least league average, if not above. This offensive line, I'm not convinced it's even league average right now. So for me, if I can draft a player, who's our 5 starting offensive lineman?
Andrew Thomas. Is either going to be Hernandez or Lemieux.
Exactly.
And there's going to be Gates. either the right guard is going to be a swing Soder or Lemieux at right guard, and right tackle is going to be Matt Pert as for
See,
right now.
When you're going either, that tells me you're not as confident in the offensive line as wide receiver either, because I can tell you right now
But
with
the problem
confidence
is
that
you're
our starting wide
drafting-
receiver group
you're
is Kenny
drafting
Galladay,
Slater
Gary
to
Slayton, and
potentially
Sterling
fill
Shepard.
2 positions. You're saying the same thing. You're actually drafting a guy that you hope can fill 2 positions or at least play one of 2.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a bad way to draft. That's a bad way to
That's
draft.
what it's all about, though.
That's not what it's all about. That's a bad way to draft. And most people will tell you that if you're and like I said a million times, if you're drafting for need and not looking at the best talent available, and you're looking to fit a guy into your system, you are reaching. Write that in there. You've already told me you're reaching because you are going to hope the coaching staff can work with him in camp and fit him into the system. But you don't know what position. If Michael Parsons is sitting there and Slater is sitting there, and you take Slater over a linebacker who you know could be a difference maker in your defense to pick a guy who could potentially fill in at 2 positions, you just reached.
Right, but you're saying the same thing about Micah Parsons. He could potentially be a playmaker. Well, so
Anyone
could Rashawn Slater.
could
Right, that's all I'm trying to say.
But that's
all I'm trying to say.
But that's life. That's not just football. That's just life.
And then
By the way, real quick, guys.
there's certain players that you know are going to do what they're supposed to do at a position that you're drafting them because you know that this guy will make this position a whole lot better than what you have now. What he means by reaching is if you're drafting on, well, maybe he could play this position if he's not good at that position. No. When the coach took Quentin Nelson, what was it, 2 or 3? I think they took him at number 2 that year. They took Quentin Nelson knowing that he was going to be a right guard.
And
They weren't trying to move him to another position. They didn't plan on moving him anywhere. They drafted him because they knew that he was going to be a right guard. When the Cowboys drafted Tyron Smith, they knew that he was going to be a left tackle. They didn't draft him with any other implications of moving him anywhere.
Here's
They
the
knew
problem.
where they wanted him to be
Here's
at.
the problem with this year's tackle class. You could say for most of the top tackles in this year's draft class, you could say, well, I want to move this guy over to guard. But the problem is a lot of them haven't had guard experience. And people are saying, well, he's versatile. But you really don't know that. You're just assuming that he has the talent to play a different position on the offensive line.
Yeah. Hey, Pat, I got to drop off. I got to jump on another show.
All right,
It's been
man.
fun, Tim. Have a good one.
Fun,
It's been
always,
fun, Tim.
guys.
Night, man.
Enjoy the rest of the night. Hope you guys, like I said, Max, I'm not picking on you. I'm not arguing with you.
No, I enjoy this. I just don't want you to get upset and
I'm
not
not
want to talk to me again. Yeah,
No,
yeah. I just like debating.
I just get passionate. Just a debate.
That's not-
That's what debating's all about, man. This is what
Absolutely.
Big Fat Sports talk about.
This is
man.
not the
Put
Donald
subjects
Trump
out
Joe
there.
Biden debate. We're just talking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just having a good time. But you guys have a good night. And if you get a chance, check out NFL Talk from Across the Pond and Back, a new podcast that I'm doing. Also check out All Nonsense Sports is another podcast I'm on. And, of course, I'm here every Monday. And I'll also be streaming every Sunday from now, again, through the beginning and the end of the season. And we're still looking for the replacement to come and take over for me in February and retake over the channel of Online Big Blue and carry on the moniker. So, guys, have a good night and have fun.
All right, have a good one.
Peace.
And also,
But yeah, shout out to Joe for correcting me on that. He was traded numbers. They did trade down and draft him at number 6, but they still drafted Quentin Nelson, knowing that he was going to be their guard. Hands
Right,
down.
but my thing to that though, Pat, is if we take a player at 11, it's not going to be we're drafting him to play one of 2 positions. The Giants coaching staff already has an idea of what they want to do with him. Now, if he has versatility to play multiple, then they'll find that out in camp, and you play your hottest hand. But they're drafting him with the purpose of playing him somewhere specifically. So rather he played tackle in college, right? Kyle Pitts, or no, who was it? There was someone who played or was one of the quarterbacks or something, right? They played like wide receiver. No, Greg Rousseau. He played edge 1 year, right? Just because he had played
He had played tight end before.
Yeah.
He
Well,
played
yeah,
wide receiver in high school.
Right. If you played wide receiver and tight end in high school and they went to college and they were just like, well, we're not even going to try you out at edge because you only played wide receiver and tight end before, then that's a bad on the coaching staff. It's all about finding what's best for your players and plugging them where you think they fit best for your team. But I still don't think reaching for Rashad or grabbing Rashawn Slater at 11 is a reach because he's talked about as a top 10
The
prospect.
beard needs to come on.
Hey, Beard, come on in, bro. We'll be on here for about another 30, 40 minutes, man.
Ooh, Joe wants to
He wants
debate.
yeah, Joe wants to debate Max. And this is must-see TV. This is pay-per-view, man.
And also,
Sports Talk on HBO. Let's go.
Also, Pat, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Because you know our last 10 second round picks, right? Because, look, we had Lavon Joseph, Marvin Austin, Ruben Randall, Jonathan Hankins, Weston Richburg, Landon Collins, Stellan Shepard, Donald Thompson, Will Hernandez, and Xavier McKinney.
Okay. Name them one by one again. Name the first one again.
Lavon Joseph,
Linville Joseph was a good one.
Marvin Austin,
No.
Ruben Randall,
Can't catch.
Hell no.
no, Jonathan Hankins,
Yeah, he was good for us.
Weston Richburg,
He was actually good. We couldn't afford him when he went to the 49ers. He was actually good.
Landon Collins,
He was a Pro Bowler for 1 year, but he really sucked.
Like
I
every,
don't think you could say he sucked.
he just couldn't cover. All right,
He sucked.
Stellan Shepard,
we already
Still
we
here.
love Shep.
Favorite. Love the guy. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt this year and ball out.
I think he's gonna retire after this year.
No, he's not. Go ahead.
Donald Thompson.
Love the guy. We just lost him to the Vikings. Very good pick.
I really hate the Vikings. I actually want
Right.
to trade for him. I want to. Yo, Vikings, it was cool we trade Donald Thompson. I'll give y'all somebody.
Jason Garrett.
Yep, I'll trade.
Beard, what's going on, man?
Yo,
King
Donald-
Joel Beard. That Beard's undefeated. And Will Hernandez.
Now this is pay-per-view. We got to get the Max and Beard debate going. Nobody speak. Only these two guys speak for the next
Oh, God.
2, 3, 4 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah,
Wait,
I've
hold on.
been-
Everybody, listen. Before the beard speaks, everyone mute yourselves. Because when the beard talks, we can't interrupt.
Oh,
That's
don't
right.
worry about it. I got y'all covered.
That's right. Yeah, fine. Oh, listen. That's an old commercial right there. I majored myself. I've been loving to listen to you guys tonight, and I get what Max is trying to say, and I wanted to jump in while Tim was on here, but you guys had such a good show going that I didn't want to interrupt it. But I got to jump in here one of these times when Tim's on. The offensive line. I understand the need and the want for that splashy route for throw it deep to him, and the Odell Beckham days. I think as Giants fans, couldn't you agree that we want that back?
You see, that's what Kenny Golladay does for me. He's that deep threat, throw it up, he's coming
There
down
you
with it
go.
kind of guy.
Yeah, there you go. So we kind of have that. The only real question we have now is the offensive line. So there's reaches, and with the Raiders, if Cleveland Farrell worked out, it wouldn't have been such a huge reach. Everyone said Daniel Jones was a reach.
He might
However,
be still.
You're
Yeah, he
you're
might be
right.
still.
You're right. But we see the progress that this kid has made. He's already gotten together with our new wide receivers. He brought in Nick Gates to work if Nick is his center. We miss Saquon Barkley. He's hit Barkley, Ross, who's the speedster, Slayton, who's a speedster, Galladay we just got, and then Shepard is our sure hands guy. We're just going to eliminate Evan Ingram. We ain't even going to talk about him.
Kyle Rudolph, sure-handed. The one thing about Evan Engram, even if he can't catch the ball, he's going to do the exact same thing John Ross can do. He's going to take that top off the defense, and they're still going to have to recognize that he's out there and playing.
Bro, Evan Ingram said this.
Right. So, I mean, is it what the biggest need is I don't want Barkley having to dance in the backfield anymore.
Thank you.
And you know what? If Slater does project to a guard and Pert does work out at tackle, but I don't want Solder on the right side. He hasn't played football in a year and he's out of shape.
I don't want Solder anyway.
There's no way that man, he might get out there and be a good backup. But, I mean, really? We're going to trust Solder? Everybody couldn't stand him at left tackle. But how is he can't play left tackle, but how is he going to translate the right tackle and be good?
Hey, I'm
We
going
don't
to
want
answer.
Solder.
Oh, snap. The Miz is great. Come on. I was finna add him, but I'm going to answer that to you, Joel. They brought back Nate Solder to be a swing guy. Like, who was the guy last year?
Cam
Fleming.
Cam Fleming, yeah. I believe he's a better swing tackle than Cam Fleming. I believe
Yes.
that. What I'm saying is, I don't want to reach for an offensive lineman just because we think our offensive line is trash.
Our
I
offensive
don't
line is not
believe our
trash.
offensive line is trash. The way they were blocking towards the end of the season, they were doing pretty doggone well. Also, a lot of our offensive line's problems was due to Daniel Jones not having pocket presence.
His pocket awareness.
It's awful.
I'm sorry if I go off on a mini rant here real quick, but this dude's pocket awareness. There was a play against the Rams where Leonard Floyd and Daniel
Shout out to
Jones.
Cody.
There was a play where Leonard Floyd and Daniel Jones literally locked eyes with each other, and Daniel Jones didn't even move at all. He literally just stood there.
Daniel Jones doesn't have pocket awareness, but how much pocket awareness are you going to have when everyone's running a 7-yard curl? You're supposed to have the ball out by then. So when those guys aren't open, when all four receivers and the tight end are running a 7-yard curl route, what's he supposed to do then? He has nowhere to throw the ball.
How many times can we say this? Is Andrew Luck as athletic as Daniel Jones?
Who?
Can we say that?
Andrew Luck?
Is Andrew Luck is athletic as Daniel Jones? Is he as athletic as Daniel Jones?
I think Daniel Jones is a teeny bit more athletic.
I
don't know. That's
you know what? It's hard to Luck because he's been out of the league for 3 years now.
I'm going to say this: Daniel Jones has him by a decent margin. Now, compare Daniel Jones' offensive line this year compared to those Andrew Luck offensive lines. Which line was better? Was it our line a little bit better than the Colts, or was the Colts line better than ours?
Ooh.
Andrew Luck had to retire due to him getting knocked the hell out throughout the whole season. Did that man still not put up numbers?
I think our offensive line is better than those lines.
If I knew that the coaching staff was not having Jones run and scramble, then I could say I agree. But because we don't know what the coaching staff wants Daniel Jones to do in the pocket, I have no idea.
Okay, I'll give you that. My process on it, Andrew Luck played with some of the worst offensive lines in the history.
In NFL history.
In history. But because of his pocket presence, they didn't look as bad as they really were. He made things look good because of his pocket presence. When he saw that his guard was getting beat immediately, he got out the pocket the way that he did. He moved to the left or the right.
Okay.
If he seen his tackle getting beat immediately, if he saw a little crevice that he can get to, he stepped up in a pocket, maneuvered in that pocket, bought him about 2 to 3 more seconds, and he found somebody.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones last year would literally just stand there and get killed.
You're also,
Big Pat, as far as that goes, though, I don't think the right move is comparing our offensive line to one of the worst in NFL history.
But that's basically what you're saying, that our offensive line is so trash
What I'm saying
Daniel Jones
is
can't get a pass off.
What I'm saying is we're not where we need to be, and a lot of you people are comparing it to last year, but you have to remember too, we lost 2 of our starting linemen from last year. Cam Fleming was a starter last year and is gone. Kevin Zeitler was a starter last year and is gone. So you now have to, after last year where you added basically 3 new pieces, now you're adding 2 more this year. Would you rather not have the best talent there that you could provide?
That's why we drafted Hernandez, and that's why we drafted Lemieux.
Hernandez is a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to
Okay.
sign Hernandez back, to be honest.
I
But
believe they
also-
get Hernandez back on a cheaper contract than what
I
people
want to
expect.
know.
We got too many guys to sign.
I want to
But
know.
I will
Peppers.
say this: I
BJ
wouldn't
Hill.
I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't go crazy if we drafted Slater because I know what they're trying to do. So I wouldn't be mad if they drafted Slater. No, but I will say this: I would rather have a Devontae Smith before Slater. I'd rather have a Michael Parsons before Slater.
Me
Because
too.
I've watched film on Slater, and that's the reason why. If he was legit, I'll say pick him up immediately. Trade up for him if he was like legit a right tackle. That's a can't miss prospect. I'll be like, I don't give a damn getting him because he's probably the best thing that we need. If he was just a legit Pro Bowl shutdown tackle, and I looked at film and I seen it, I would say get him immediately. But I know if we draft someone like Michael Parsons, I know he makes
There's
this
going to be immediate impact.
3-4 times better as soon as he touches the field. I know if we draft Devontae Smith,
There's
he
gonna be
immediately
immediate
becomes our
impact.
number 2 receiver. I like Darius Slayton a lot, but Devontae Smith's on another level. And if we get 2 legit receivers out there that you have to game plan for, and then we have someone like Ross or Shepard maneuvering in the middle of that field, or we got Rudolph who's a sure hand catcher that
Hasn't
can run
dropped a
those
pass
routes
in
that
2 years.
Jason Garrett loved to call for the tight end. That makes our team that much better. Let me welcome in the Miz real quick. I miss
Miz.
this boy Michael Parsons, and I know he's going to have something.
Oh, I can't talk like this.
But
It's double talking.
if we draft that number 2 receiver, you know how much better that makes this offense.
No, I don't know.
Just real quick, Pat.
What's up, guys?
You're going to compare
ahead.
quarterbacks. I want
ahead.
you to give me Luck's first 2 years
This is so off.
because Daniel Jones.
I'll be
has only
right
been
back.
in
All right, Pat?
2 years.
I gotta
All right.
fix something.
He's got to
You
fix.
said-
What do I do?
you said compare Andrew Luck's first 2 years.
Deep studio.
Because
Right?
I don't want to hear. You can't compare Andrew Luck's 5th, 6th year when Daniel's only been in the league for 2. It's like comparing him to Eli. Eli was here 16 years, so you can't compare. Well, Eli did this and that. Well, what did Eli do his first 2 years? He turned the ball over.
He was horrible, pretty much.
Andrew Luck's first 2 years, I believe he made the playoffs. Let me check.
Anytime Jerome speaks, we automatic agree. We don't disagree. Yo, Pat.
On
if
top
it
of that,
wasn't
too, Andrew Luck was thought to be this massive prospect coming out of college. Daniel
Yeah,
Jones
Jones-
was not. Those are 2 completely different players you're
It's-
comparing.
it is.
If it was like Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence you're going to compare, okay, I could see that.
Okay,
But they're not even thought to be the same.
his rookie year, he threw for 4,374 yards, and the Colts were 2-14 before he got there. He led them to 11-5 record. His first year, his very first year, his rookie year, he led them to 11-5 record and made it to the playoffs. The next year, he made it to the playoffs as well.
That's what a first pick prospect does. That's what you expect from a first pick
So
prospect.
what do you expect from a first round, 6th round pick? I mean, number 6 pick.
6th round.
I'm expecting growing pains because we all know a quarterback is a reach. Every year, a quarterback is there's no way about it. You've got to have a quarterback. So let's look at the Eagles. They're in quarterback hell. The Browns, for 20 years, they were reaching for a quarterback. They're in quarterback hell. The Eagles are, again, going to be, because Jalen Hurts ain't going to go nowhere, so they're going to be reaching for a quarterback. Look at the teams this year that are trying to make these quarterback prospects. They're saying Mac Jones is like a 32, 33, should be picked then. They're predicting him to be top 5, top 3 if San Francisco takes him. So that is the one position that every team, no matter what, is going to reach.
Right, and that's what I
So-
was gonna say, Joel. Like, are you, Pat? Because you're talking first round first pick and first round sixth pick is what you're comparing. Are you going to expect the exact same thing from Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones this season if the 49ers take Mac Jones third overall?
No, I'm not saying that a pick later in the first round shouldn't have growing pains, but I expect his pocket awareness to be decent if I'm taking him in the number 6 pick. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's a bad pick. I think the guy's ultra talented. I believe this guy can turn into one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Me too. Daniel Jones has a lot of talent. He's not just some scrub quarterback.
If he gets his pocket awareness, it's just one thing. One thing. If he gets his pocket awareness up, he shoots up quarterback boards. That's the main thing that's causing him his turnovers.
And
The main thing that
Evan Ingram is the main thing causing him his turnovers.
That's
and he wants to make the play so bad that he will stand there in that pocket and hope something happens, knowing that nothing's going to happen. Instead of getting out of there or throwing away, he winds up making a bad play because he wants to make the play so bad. Now, with this Giants offseason that we just had, that takes that excuse away.
Yeah.
He was still playing at Duke with the Giants.
Basically, that's what he was doing. Yes.
Right.
That's why I'm not saying he's a horrible quarterback. I'm saying he has to get his pocket awareness up. You can play with one of the worst offensive lines in the league, but if you got great pocket presence, some of that stuff can be masked because you're maneuvering that pocket so well that you're avoiding a lot of things.
And Daniel Jones, his third year at Duke, won a bowl game. Who at Duke wins bowl games?
Nobody.
Exactly.
That's why I'm saying he's an ultra talented quarterback, but the excuses are starting to run out. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with that. I can say here a Daniel Jones fan, and I can agree with that. However, I think this is his turning year because if you look at Baker Mayfield, what gave Baker Mayfield his game this year? I think it was 2 running backs called
Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Thank you. I couldn't say that.
You're getting ready to make my point. You're getting ready to make my point.
Hi, Saquon. Yo, let's tear this up. Okay. Galladay, over the top.
I think Joel's having a legit mental breakdown.
Yes, I am.
Hey, yo.
What's up, Pat? What's up, Pat?
What's going on, Miz?
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Everyone.
Literally. So we have a number 1 X receiver now, and if we were to take an offensive lineman in the first round and another receiver in the second or third round, Daniel Jones literally has no excuses.
None.
None.
But I will.
That's the goal for this year.
Right.
I cannot take Slater if there's a Devontae Smith or Parsons on the board. I can't take him.
If Waddle, Smith, or Parsons are on the board and Slater, I'm not going Slater.
Then would you go with a true center in the second, move Gates to right guard?
I would move the center that we draft to a guard. I would not move Gates to a guard.
Now you're okay with moving a center to a guard, but not a tackle to a guard?
There you go.
I'm not okay with that either. I'm leaving Nick Gates.
Nick Gates is the center.
Nick Gates is our center. Stop
right,
the
but
cap.
you just said you'd draft a center in the second round and move him to guard. If you're not willing to put a tackle to guard, then why are you willing to put a center there?
It's not like he's an experienced NFL player. Oh my god.
Hey, spice the stream up. Let's go.
Center and guard. Bruh, stop the cap. Center and guard are similar. Tackle and guard are not the same at all.
Yeah, there you go.
You said that tackle takes a lot more athleticism and it's harder.
Put the cap on.
It is.
So then why aren't you comfortable putting a tackle at guard if guard's easier?
Right.
I never said guard was easier. Hell no. I never said guard was easier.
You literally just agreed with me when I said that tackle takes more athleticism and it's harder. You said yes.
I got you.
Get him, Max.
Tackle is the hardest offensive line job in the league. We need to agree with that.
So guard is easier than tackle.
Center is the hardest.
Oh yeah, because
mentally,
yes. But athletically, the tackle is the hardest to play.
Athletically, yeah.
You gotta slot your feet.
Here's what this is my way of looking at it, okay? I would be more comfortable moving a interior offensive lineman in a center like Creed Humphrey to another interior offensive line spot like
two
the
different
guard.
Positions.
So instead of moving instead of moving a tackle to the guard, like taking Rashawn Slater, putting him at guard. Because
Like
we
Zach
know,
Martin, who became a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, because we know
Come in, Matt. Come on.
You said who became a Pro Bowl?
Zach
Martin.
Martin.
'Cause
He was
we
drafted
know-
as a tackle, and he's a
because
Pro
we
Bowl
know
guard for
that's-
Dallas.
Because we know that specific player is
No,
say
guys,
Creed
that's my
Humphrey.
son right there. He's a big Giants fan, also. A
What's
young
good?
All
guy.
right.
Hold on,
coming,
little
man.
fella.
His name is Matt.
What's going
So-
on, Mac?
I would be more
Yeah.
comfortable. I would be more comfortable taking an interior offensive lineman like a center, like Creed Humphrey, and moving him to the guard because it's similar. It's still an interior offensive lineman than moving a tackle to the guard because you don't know if Rashawn Slater can play guard. We're just assuming because he has smaller arms that he can play guard. That doesn't mean that he automatically can.
But
Okay,
you're canceling
so-
yourself out because you're assuming that a center can play guard. So you're doing the
Right.
same exact thing, but at a different position.
I never said that he can 100%. I said I'd be more comfortable with it.
But then
why?
again, now you're settling. You're no longer taking the best player available, and you're drafting for need, which you already said you don't want.
Yeah, now
This-
you're making a
you're
read.
talking about the
second
second
round,
round.
not
Yeah.
the first
Hey,
round.
look it. I got you. I got somebody who could rebuttal it. All right, what you were saying, Kat? Why would you? Why would you want to move Nick Gates to guard when he's the center on the field?
I never said I wanted to move
No.
Nick
He
Gates
said
to
he wanted
guard.
to draft a center.
I don't
For
mind.
what? If you
I
got Nick
don't mind.
Gates, I don't get it.
I don't mind.
I never said I wanted to move Nick
Drafting-
Gates.
I don't mind drafting
You're
a
moving
Slater.
him though.
No, we're not. I don't want to move Nick Gates. I want to keep him at center.
Yeah.
I
No,
said
a lot of guys can move around on the line, but it's not easy to move any lineman to center. Center's a hard position. You either have it
center
or you
is
don't.
one of the most mentally hard positions in football.
Yeah, because
No,
basically
you gotta
you're
be able to be a guy that could snap a ball and block at the same time. And a lot of guys.
And you also got to read defensive fronts.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know about Nick Gates was looking good last year. Maybe he'll continue and become really good.
The only
I don't know.
problem-
That's really the Giants coaching staff is the only one who knows. You know, like
The only problem that
hard
I
to
have
tell.
with Nick, the only little problem that I have with Nick Gates is his snaps are a bit too high, but he can work on that.
yeah,
Look,
but he just moved into a brand new position as a young kid. That way, he did a decent job last year. He
I
did a
said,
good
I
job.
said,
he did a
I
heck of
like
a
Nick
job
Gates.
last year.
I like Nick Gates. He only has like one little thing to work on.
I
that
think
he
the guy
can
can make a Pro Bowl this upcoming year.
Me
I think
too.
the guy did pretty doggone well at center. He
You know,
saved
That's
a
that's
lot.
a bold statement. I don't
Can
know
you
about a
name-
Pro Bowl
can you
center.
name-
You crazy? That dude saved.
Can you name
lot
10 centers
last
in the
year.
league better than Nick Gates?
Well, you
Name-
you don't need to name 10 to not have him in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, he's not a Pro Bowl. Listen, he's not a Pro Bowl yet. You know, you
I never
guys-
said that he
he's
was
not
a Pro Bowl right now. I
And
said,
Max
I say he
Gadden-
I can name 3 better tight ends than Evan Ingram, and he ended up in the Pro Bowl though. So I mean, that doesn't really mean much.
Evan Ingram didn't belong anywhere near the Pro Bowl. You know, the Pro Bowl is a popularity thing, man. They don't really look at the real
Evan
players.
Ingram
around
Evan
the league.
Ingram-
on the
Evan
53
Ingram-
sometimes.
Evan Ingram is too bad for the deepest pit in hell. Let's be honest.
Like
Wait,
he
and
I can't wait for Evan Ingram to go out this year and just ball.
Oh, he's
out
gonna. No,
and
Max,
watch
I agree
all
with
of
you, man.
these fans.
I have a
eat
feeling
their
it's
Ingram's
gonna
words.
be
gonna
hilarious.
that
It's gonna be
shoulder this
hilarious.
year, man.
It's gonna be hilarious, but it's gonna help us out. So I
This
don't
is my
care.
take on Evan Ingram. This is my take on Evan Ingram. If Evan Ingram can hold onto the ball, he's a top 3 tight end with all of his talent that he has. If he could just hold onto the ball, he's the top 3 tight
Ooh.
end.
I don't know.
Nah,
I
he
still
gotta get
got
his route
Kelsey,
running.
Kittle, and Waller above
Yeah.
him.
Top four.
So back to the old.
You're
line
right. I
real
forgot about
quick.
Waller. I always forget about Waller.
Joel keeping us on track here.
Right.
He's like, back to what I came on here to
Yeah.
talk about.
I tell you the truth. There's a lot of teams in this league that would like to have Ingram, and I have a feeling that with the weapons we got, and you got Smith and Rudolph as tight ends now, they're going to use Ingram a lot more the way that he came out of college as a slot receiver, and you're going to see Ingram have a big year.
Can he catch?
He could catch.
No.
man.
He,
You know
he
could
can catch if you make it impossible for him to catch. If you
Right.
put it on the
Evan Ingram-
numbers,
Evan
he's
Ingram
going to drop it every time.
If you put it in
Evan
the
Ingram-
perfect hands, there's a high chance he's gonna drop it. But
And
Evan-
also, guess what? All we gotta do is throw the ball out of bounds and Ingram catching everything.
right.
Yo,
Yo,
is
there was
there-
a play. It was an out of bounds. Evan Ingram Odell'd somebody, but of course it was
Yeah.
out of bounds.
All right, let's
Now-
get back on track real quick
now is there
with the Rashawn
a Pro
Slater thing.
Bowl
Go ahead,
center-
Joe.
Is there a Pro Bowl center in this draft? The
No.
I
potential.
think Creed Humphrey
Yeah,
is.
there is. But he suffered a lot of injuries, and that's Dickerson
okay.
from Alabama.
I
Right.
like Humphrey more than Dickerson.
Well, between the two of them, let's say we get one of those guys in the second round, and we know that Gates would be an all-pro right guard. Would you still go for it, or would you just still let that fly and go down the road hoping, wishing, and praying?
All right,
Nick
so you
Gates
said
is an
If I knew
all-pro
Nick-
right guard, though.
Nick Gates is
Yeah,
not an all-pro
right.
right guard.
He
If
played
Nick
real
Gates
good.
turned to be,
I think Max just ate his mic. Oh
if
my
it was
God.
if it was in the books to put Nick Gates to be a all pro right guard, yes, I would take one of those centers and put him at center and let Nick Gates go to right guard. But we all
All right.
know,
All-pro right guard.
All right.
right?
But let's say
Wait.
we get Creed Humphreys or Dickerson. They're an all-pro center. Nick Gates will never be an all-pro center. Would you still pass that up?
It
I
depends on
don't
who's
think I'd pass
there.
that up. For an
If it
all-pro
depends on
center,
who's there. If there's somebody that can help me on my defensive line, or say if we took Rashawn Slater or somebody in the first round and there's a receiver that I like, I'll choose one of them before I take that center.
The center is also helps Daniel Jones
yep.
by reading the offenses or the defenses,
Mhm.
calling out the blocking schemes,
Yep.
and that helps Daniel audible to different plays, which is something
what
that you all want.
But what our rebuttal to that is, Joel, we took him number 6. Shouldn't he be able to call out the mic? Shouldn't he be able to tell when a blitz is coming from the cornerback if he sees that? If the
But
receiver
he doesn't call out. But it's the
It's
center's
always the
responsibility.
center. That's his
Hogan,
responsibility.
This is my argument. You guys wanted to keep going on other rounds. The center is responsible for calling out the blocking schemes, the defense, and watch for stunts.
Mhm.
Okay.
Daniel Jones's job is to call the mic, look at the line of scrimmage, listen to his center, and then audible into a play that runs against that defense, whether it be running, whether it be a pass, whether it be a screen.
Did he do that well last year?
So
After the Tampa game, yes.
Let's look at Jeff Saturday, who was Peyton Manning's center for 10 years. You see how well those two clicked? That has a lot to do with Daniel Jones' confidence also.
So
that has a lot to do with his pocket awareness. That has a lot to do with the whole game plan, because that center knows what that defensive end likes to do, an inside, outside, so he can call out the defense for the left side, the right side, and then come and protect and block, because he's going to know that this guy likes to come wide and back up into the middle.
Yep.
It's just like a catcher that knows what each pitcher likes to hit.
Yep.
That's why the pitcher
Joel
or the catcher calls whatever,
no.
what do I want? Ball, curveball, slider. That's what that guy, that's what the center does.
Mhm.
Oh no, the Wi-Fi hating again.
So Gates could be technically a good center. You guys think he's a great center. Joe Judge could be saying, we need to get somebody else.
That could be true too. But like I said, a lot of it still falls on Daniel Jones as well.
Can we take a second to talk about what Cody said in the comments here and said how Haskins would have been way better? Let's talk about where that man's career is at right now.
Haskins might not even make a practice.
Hold on. I just won a game.
Haskins will be better than who?
Right.
Wait, hold on.
Can't be better than the
Haskins,
CEO.
what? Wait, hold up. Guess what? And don't forget, Dwayne Haskins' first passing touchdown was us, because Jabril Peppers scored for Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah. Bruh, Dwayne Haskins isn't better at football than the CEO of McDonald's.
He said Washington made Haskins' career bad.
No. But
No,
Why did Trevor Heineke look like a
bad.
starting quarterback in the playoffs?
No, the problem
Who is
with
Trevor
Haskins,
Heineke? Let's be
the
real.
problem with Haskins
was the club.
is not the type of quarterback he is. The problem with Haskins is he
Yeah,
did a lot of
Haskins.
immature stuff. He didn't grow up his first year and a half.
Exactly.
If Haskins
And
would grow up and take football seriously and study film and be in the workout room like most quarterbacks are, maybe he would become something.
He's a Jamarcus
Exactly.
Russell, is basically what he is. He doesn't have a work ethic.
He's darn near close. He is darn near close. And that is bad.
The thing with Haskins is he's in the best place he could be. If anybody's gonna grow him up into a man, it's Tomlinson.
Yep.
So We'll find out the next 2 years. We know
Hey, but
Ben has a year left and he's retiring.
I will give Haskins credit though because I take him over Ryan Leaf.
yeah, Ryan Leaf was pretty bad. But New York Giants 26, he said, here's a few centers that are better than Nick Gates. Jason Kelsey, yep. Austin Blythe, yep. Alex Mack, yep. Rodney Hudson, yep. David Andrews, yep. Mitch Morris, yep. Corey Lindsey, yep. Jensen, yep. Eric McCoy, yep. And also Ryan Kelly. I could debate that, but I'll give you a yep on that one. You're right.
Yeah.
There's plenty of centers
we're
out
not
there.
saying,
Yeah,
we're not
Loki.
saying much, man. We're not saying much because Nick Gates is a baby. Jones is a baby, man. You got to give them a couple of years to grow up here. Everybody, what do you want? An all-pro center in his first year playing the position that wasn't
No.
even originally
Didn't you
his
know-
position, man? You got to
Miz,
give them
didn't you know
time.
everybody is supposed to come into the NFL being all pros at every position?
No,
Yeah, that's not happening. Man.
everybody has growing pains.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
And
the
you know
thing
what I
is,
like about Nick Gates? That Nick Gates is willing to take a swing at Donald on the field against the Rams. Remember that? He
Ooh,
was
yeah.
willing to fight the guy. He's
I'm
feisty.
biased.
He stands
Yeah.
up for his team. He's a little bulldog, the way an offensive lineman should be.
Hey, shout out to Rafael De Luna. Thank you for the sub, bro. Thank you for tuning in, man. Hopefully, have you for many more shows. And
I
go
love-
sub up Logan, Max, Miz. If Joel had a channel, I'll tell you to sub him up as well. I think
I'm thinking about it.
You got a channel, go
The offensive linemen
Yeah,
that
I
are
do.
willing. The offensive
sub
linemen
up to
that
the
are
goat as
willing.
well.
The offensive linemen that are willing to assassinate people for their quarterback is the offensive lineman that I want on my team.
Listen, I understand it, but if we take Parsons at 11, we've got to get that line fixed or get depth. Right now, we have nothing. We have Andrew Thomas.
You guys act like there's not a second and third round.
Yeah, there's 7 rounds.
There's a second and third round, people.
Ben Cleveland in the 3rd, Wyatt Davis in the 2nd.
And
Yeah.
in the 2nd round, you have a 35% chance of getting a starter.
You
And
can't
in the
just say
3rd round, it drops to 22% chance of getting a starter. So the farther you go down, the less chance. It's only a 50-50 shot in the 1st round.
Yeah.
every single round is just a chance.
I'll
Not
say
guaranteed.
this. If
Nothing's
there's a
guaranteed.
Parsons or Devontae Smith or Waddle,
Yo,
there,
I'm taking him
sorry,
all day
Slater's off
over
my
Slater.
board.
Don't get me started with Parsons. Pat knows. Don't get me started because then I take over the show right now.
If Parsons, Smith, or Waddle are on the board, I'm taking them all day over Rashawn.
Yeah, but you
Slater.
got to make a decision. It can't be if Parson, Waddle, Smith, Chase, Pitts, Slater. Yo, you got to narrow it down to 2 guys. I don't understand all that.
If it's between Micah, if
Allison
it's between
Freiermuth in the 2nd round, I wouldn't mind that, but we would have
already
other
have too
needs
many
at
tight
that
ends.
point. Yeah,
have
unless
too
we're
many
getting rid
tight
of
ends as
Evan
is.
Ingram. If we're getting rid of Evan Ingram, yeah, I wouldn't mind. You
If
be the
Paul-
perfect tight
on the board,
end.
I'm taking him.
We're not going tight end because we got bigger needs, man. You guys know that.
how about
But
this?
Miz, you don't draft for need. You only draft BPA.
I got news for you. I draft for needs and also one of the highest guys on the board. So you look at the highest guys, you narrow it down to a need. At least in the first 2 rounds, man. I'll tell you what, man. This is the truth. This is the truth. The Giants are very high on Aziz. I don't know if they're taking
Yes,
him.
these are
He's right at the
Ojulari.
top of their
Yeah.
board. So is Quiddy Pay. And the fact that the Giants have gone quiet the last few days about Parsons tells me that he's very high on their board also.
How about this, Miz? You were saying narrow it down to 2. If it's between Slater and Parsons, I'm taking Parsons all day.
Yeah, me as well.
Man, that's very hard right there. That's why Gettleman get paid the big bucks. Because
There's
I can't
not
even
a
make
pick.
that's
Wade
a
Gettleman.
50-50 decision, man. If we come down to that, you can flip a quarter because I don't know. We need both of those are needs. Both of those are going to be great players.
And this is coming from a man who eats, sleeps, and breathes Micah Parsons.
I did, man.
Let's
I'm
take that
studying
into consideration here real quick.
Max is right, man. And Slater, I'm not stupid, man. I know how much Slater would mean to this O-line. I understand that.
People don't realize we can get a guard in the 2nd or 3rd rounds. I'd much rather
We can get a wide receiver or linebacker there too.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't
Surratt,
wait for the 3rd round,
Rondale
man.
Moore.
If you're going defense at 11, you go offensive line. You got Davis, you got Leatherwood, you got a bunch of guys. You get an offensive lineman at 42, you're still going to get a really good wide receiver in the 3rd round, I promise you.
3rd, you can probably go in the 4th round to get a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
Joe's
There's
right.
plenty of receivers out there. I will say this: one of them that I like will be there, and that's the boy from Colorado State, Jackson, and
The 6'6"
Tamarian
guy.
Terry from Florida State.
Tamorian
will be
Terry
there.
is an absolute monster. Don't even get me
Oh.
started on Tamorian Terry.
He's a seventh round prospect. You didn't know?
What do
Yeah,
you, what do
Pat,
you guys?
Pat, if you look at
According to
my
PFN.
video, I did a video on Scary Terry. I would love to have him on the Giants.
You ain't lying, man. That dude's a monster, man.
The only thing
I love
about
that
him
guy.
is he doesn't really match what we now need at wide receiver. Kenny
Wow.
he's kind of like a miniature Kenny Galladay. Like he's a younger
He's
version.
bigger than Galladay.
He's a younger
6'4".
version.
He's
Is
6'4".
what I mean.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
they're
he's
like
a-
the same
he-
height. Isn't Galladay 6'4" as
he's
well?
a prospect.
6'4", 6'5"?
He's
Yes.
definitely the prospect. But if he can get his route running down completely, him and Galladay on the outside, man, that would be absolutely
Kenny
sick.
Galladay, Tamorian Terry, John Ross, Darius Slayton, and Sterling Shepard.
And
That would
Dante
be
Pettis.
And Dante Pettis, and Kyle Rudolph, Evan Ingram, Daniel Jones, and Saquon Barkley.
And
Yeah,
Devontae
that'd be
Booker.
absolutely sick, man.
That's too many. There's not enough room for those guys.
And Swiss cheese on your offensive line. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Well, that's why the Giants must get this one more piece, man. They have to.
We need, but I'm hoping if we don't go O-line in the first, we damn well better take an offensive lineman in the second or third round.
What do we do with all those undrafted free agents we signed last year that everybody liked?
Man, they're gone, man. Austin Mack,
Really?
all of them
Without
gone.
without OTAs, they're gonna be gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gone. Only one I wanted
OTAs
them
are
to
their
keep,
chance to make the roster.
only one I wanted them to keep was Javon Leak, man, because he brought special
The
teams.
running back, right?
Yeah, he brought special teams and an element of speed that we didn't have at the running back.
That's what Adoree Jackson's gonna do, though. Adoree
gonna get a
Jackson, man,
chance.
talk about
I
speed.
really don't want my
Talk about a kick
starter.
returner
I really
right
don't
there.
want my starting cornerback taking punts and kickoff returns. I really don't want.
That's
him doing
true.
that.
You'd rather
Wait,
have
wait.
your starting safety, Jabril Peppers.
I don't want him
Wait,
doing
wait.
it either.
Wait,
They're
Pat.
gonna get
He
a-
was
No
doing
way.
I think that's why we got
Wait,
John Ross.
This is
Wait,
having a total mental breakdown in the
wait.
corner.
That's what you brought the 49ers guy in for. Special teams.
Dante
Yeah.
Pettis.
Yeah, Pettis actually has the all-time NCAA record for punt returns.
He
Yeah,
does.
man.
Mhm.
I'm not putting Peppers out there to return punts and get another Seahorn. All right, no thank you.
Right.
I don't really like Jabril Peppers as a punt returner anyway. He keeps when there's lanes to go, he keeps fielding punts inside like the 5-yard line, even when there's like lanes to get out and go.
Guess what?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
you
but
think-
he held it down last year, so
That's
Yeah.
true.
And
he
also,
didn't have
how you,
anybody.
how you think if we feel about Saquon running the football? It could be an open lane, but Barkley decides to bounce to the outside. That part gets me mad the most.
Saquon has Barry Sanders syndrome sometimes.
Saquon saw his life flash before his eyes in that Pittsburgh game. As soon as he got the ball, he was getting killed. Like
Yo,
I know why he was doing that at the beginning of the season.
Saquon
But if
needs
we
some
were,
milk
if we
after
were
the
blocking the
Pittsburgh
way
game.
we're blocking towards the end of the season, Saquon could have had about a 1,500-yard season easily.
Yeah.
yep.
And what
The way
pissed
they
me
were
off,
blocking for
what pissed
Gallup.
me off so much when Tiki
What?
was pulling his crap of saying Saquon's not on every down back. Saquon in the Chicago game was on pace for a 100-yard game, 7 yards a carry.
Yo, Saquon hasn't ran behind a real O line yet. You do realize that,
hasn't.
right?
Yeah, he hasn't.
And now that the O line will be a year older, we add another big piece. And you got Galladay, who's a big blocker on the outside. You got
And
Rudolph,
also
who's like a
Shepard.
sixth
Shepard's a
lineman.
good blocker.
Yeah, Shepard.
You brought in
Shepard's a
Rudolph
really
to
good
block
blocker.
for the run game. That's what Rudolph
Yep.
is here for, really, to block in the
Smith
run game.
and Toilolo
With
are
Barkley's
okay
help,
blockers.
you're going to see a real run game this year. You're going to see 1,500 yards out of Barkley rushing. I'm
And
Not
telling
to
you.
mention
That's
Daniel
if he's
Jones
healthy.
running the ball.
Guess what? And also Booker, who's a faster version of Wayne Gallen too.
That's
I
another
still,
thing, man. The longer
Yeah, Booker.
nobody signs Gallman, we probably bring him back cheap.
That's why I breed Goblin
Yeah.
back in winter.
Max.
I don't
Minnesota.
love him either, Max, but the longer he sits out there,
No,
you
no,
know,
no.
he with the
I
49ers.
liked Gallman and what he did, but I
He's
don't
with the
necessarily.
49ers.
Who is?
Gallman.
He's with the 49ers?
He I think he
that's
he
news
did.
to me.
He
I
just
didn't hear
visited.
that.
All he did was
Yeah,
visit.
I didn't. Yeah, he visited. I didn't hear him sign anything.
No,
No, he didn't sign with anybody, or we would have known it.
I don't want Gallman back. He fumbled his last chance and almost cost us the game.
Yeah,
Wait,
I almost had a heart attack.
The
Wait,
Dallas
wait.
game,
Stuff he did.
Hold on.
One play caused the whole Giants nation not to like him.
Wait.
by the
That's
time,
tough.
Hold on.
but at the end
What's
of the
that,
Dallas
Jaden?
game,
Wait, King Beer, Joel. Are we
To be
really
honest-
gonna
to be
let? Are we
honest,
really gonna
Garmin-
let that one
Garmin's
fumble
nothing
cost
special,
everything
man.
though?
Garmin's nothing special. I would draft a running back in the 6th round here. I've seen a bunch of these late running
I
backs.
want Trey Sermon.
We've
in the
already
4th round.
replaced Gallman with Booker.
Thing is,
Yeah.
But we need
I'd
another.
rather draft Warren Jackson in the 6th round.
Hypothetically,
What about
Sorry,
the Georgia kid? I forgot his name, Pat. What about the Georgia kid, the small, feisty one?
You talking
Not
about
Georgia,
the running back?
Louisville.
Louisville.
Oh, you talking about I
The
can't.
one
I
that
forgot his name.
entertainer picked him in the 6th round
Yeah,
today. Perfect.
I can't think of his name right now,
I'll
but I
look
know
him
who
up
you're
right
talking
now.
about.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
he's a
Louisville.
coach on our team now.
They say he reminds people of Ahmad Bradshaw. He plays the same way.
Same
was the
way.
greatest-
Javion Hawkins
That was the greatest 7th round pick I've seen in a long time. We
in
need
a
another one
long
of
time.
those.
Oh, you're talking about Bradshaw.
Yes, 7th
Mhm.
round, baby. There.
Oh, yeah.
Thing
Yeah,
is,
And
Javion-
listen, and
Hey.
Brandon Jacobs was a 5th round pick. That was
Yeah.
a steal, too.
Yeah, Zayd. Shout out to Zayd. Khalil Herbert from Virginia Tech is a very good running back too. He's a bigger guy, but he has more speed than you think, and he has a lot of moves out the backfield. I like him as well.
I want a power back along with Saquon.
That's what Khalil Herbert would bring. He would bring a power back with speed that could break out speed. He can surprise a lot of people.
I want the next incarnation of Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw. I want that type running back.
I'm gonna tell you this now. You're
I
not
want
going to
Earth, Wind,
see
and
another
Fire.
Brandon Jacobs.
Never.
Brandon Jacobs,
Never going to see Brandon Jacobs again. Not in 100
yeah,
years.
Brandon
Wind, and
Jacobs
Fire.
is an anomaly.
I want Earth,
Never.
Wind, and Fire back. That's what I want. I want that 3-headed monster.
When we
What's
had
up, Chris?
Ward, Bradshaw, and Jacobs.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo,
That
what's up,
was the
Chris
running-
Bucco? That's my best friend right there. Chris Bucco. I brought him into the chat, Pat. Chris
What's going
Bucco has
on, Chris?
Pat's chat. These guys
What's
hop
going
in,
on,
call
Chris?
up if you want.
you
man, Miz, when you gonna do your show, bro? So I can come on your show.
On
man.
Wednesday
You always
night.
show support, man.
Oh, I'm
What
going to be
time
able to
Wednesday?
make
So I'll
that.
make sure.
All
I'm
right.
in.
Wednesday night later on after I coach a football team. After coaching football, I'm doing a Wednesday night show with what's his name?
Hub?
Zion and Hub.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
small, quick little.
yeah.
Hub will join us for a half hour, then he's got to go, and then Zion and I will have our second stream together tomorrow night, I guess, later on, like say around 8:30, 9 o'clock and on. And
Wow.
you guys, I would love you guys to call in. Whatever, it's the same thing, man. All these shows are repetitive. We're getting bored. You just got to get to the draft.
I don't care,
Mhm.
but they're fun. I enjoy this. I love this stuff right here.
It's
I
only
can be on
fun.
YouTube,
It's only
and I
fun if
don't
you're
need to-
calling. It's only fun if you're calling from the fishing boat like you did that night.
Hey, we caught fish. I got some pictures, boy.
Hey man,
It's
if I ever
black
get a
with the
chance,
headlight.
man, I gotta go fishing with the beard, man. I
Hey.
bet that's a damn good time.
I'll come down to Louisiana because I miss the food. No
Yeah, I never
problem.
been there either. I got to get down there. I want to
I
see.
lived, I lived there for a while.
Yeah,
I gotta give me some boudin and some etouffee, and I miss all that stuff. Gator tail.
now that is
Oh.
good. The etouffee is pretty damn good. And you get somebody to make some good gumbo.
Yes,
I'm originally
I
from
love
Chicago.
gumbo.
And I fell in love with gumbo when I came down here.
jambalaya in New York State's nothing like
Yes, sir.
Louisiana. Oh, the
But
spices.
you know what?
Ooh,
I lives in Louisiana.
yeah, when you leave Louisiana, you need some toilet paper in the freezer for the trip home.
Do you know if the amount of Giants YouTubers out here, we probably could take a whole section of the New York MetLife Stadium?
Yo,
If we
Pat,
all
I
went to
was
the game
talking
at
to
once?
I was talking to Entertainer like 3 days ago. Me and him. And I told him, you remember you were gonna do a Giants game where everyone gets together for one game. We come from
Mhm.
all over the country. He was gonna
Right.
do that 2 years ago. They did it 2 or 3 years ago. They had about 8 people. And I told him, yo, Chris, this time you're gonna have to take out the entire section of MetLife Stadium. That's how much the YouTube Giant Nation has grown. He was dying laughing, but he said it was true.
It is, man.
Wait.
If
The thing
everyone-
is,
If everyone chipped in $100, you could get a couple of suites. Then you
Yeah.
can stay up there with the
I'll be
owner.
there.
Right.
wait, Pat.
Go see
I got a
John
better-
Mara.
I got a
John.
better idea.
John Mayer always
What's
gets
going on,
told.
John?
Hey, yo,
The hell
Pat,
you
I
doing
got a
over
better
there,
idea.
John? What's going
What's
on,
up,
bro?
Jaden?
Look, if the Giants go to the Super Bowl, we should all meet up in the Super Bowl.
If the Giants go to the Super Bowl, I'm being Lawrence Taylor at halftime.
Logan, no, you're not. I'm gonna meet him first.
Hey, I got a question. Viz Edison says, Pat, have you ever met Young Boy down there? Before he got into that trouble like 2-3 years ago, I saw him in Dallas. Weird little guy, but it's cool.
Well, I
I've
can't
actually
get
seen
tickets to the Super Bowl, Jay, but I'd love to meet up at the casino and watch it on like a 95-inch television.
Yeah,
That
Everybody.
would be dope, man.
Oh,
No, I think we're definitely gonna have a meet. Chris was saying, Chris and Bad Dog, we're gonna set up everyone for one game with a tailgate party. They did it
Yeah.
3 years ago.
Yep.
They only had 7 people, and I know
Man, look,
Kid Blue flew up from Florida, so I remember that. I
Dallas,
saw the
you mean?
picture.
yeah, I'm getting the flight.
else?
Just let me know
Yeah.
I'm getting the flight.
I've never
Can
been
you
to a
imagine?
game before. I gotta go.
Yeah, you can imagine
Alright.
all of us in one section.
Pat, yo,
Yo,
Pat,
Pat.
if you don't mind me asking, how far are you from Dallas?
Like 2 hours.
yeah.
Like a drive, 2 hour drive, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's
if
good.
I'm driving away, I want to drive on an hour and a half.
I-10, you got to do 90 or they'll run you over. That's that simple.
I am gonna try to stream one from Dallas Stadium. I know I won't be able to show the game, but I'll be able to show my face, and so I'm gonna do that when we go to the Cowboys game when they play the Giants. Now, if you see somebody throw a fist at me, just know I'm going down like a G. I'm taking at least 4 with me. They're gonna have to be
I
deep.
told my friend who's a diehard Dallas fan that I told him, you guys have nice weapons, and I hope you draft Pitts, and Dak won't make it through the season again because your O-line is cream cheese. And that's the truth.
Hey,
Talk
look,
about
if they-
Slater.
if they
Dallas
get
might need
Pitts-
Slater more than anyone.
If they get Pitts and that offensive line hold up, though, boy, they're gonna be
They
a
ain't
problem.
getting Pitts. Don't be a Dallas fan.
Oh, I ain't worried about Dallas at all because Zeke is going to fumble the ball.
Because Zeke is washed.
I think Zeke is gone down, man. Something happened, man.
Yeah.
He's not the same
defense-
Zeke anymore.
Their defense is like, what's the really nice thin cream cheese? That's what their defense is.
Yeah, Swiss
You just
cheese.
get right through.
Yeah, Swiss.
Not even
I don't
a
forget-
cheese.
forget
really
about
don't
that,
care.
man.
I really don't care who Dallas drafts because we're gonna get them twice this year coming up, so I'm not worried about them. But
Oh.
that will be a problem though if they got Pitts. I'm not gonna sit
No.
here in front.
They're Dallas. You can't call them cheese. It's ranch. Get it right. Texas.
I was watching this.
Dallas.
I was watching this thing this morning. I hate the media, but I just wanted to check it out. I forget what show it was. It was one of the ESPN shows. They were talking about if Dallas should fear Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. One guy said the Giants are probably going to win the East. The other said the Cowboys have too much talent on their team to not win the NFC East.
Yeah, but too
And
much
if you want to
talent
see what
there,
he's
man.
talking about, if you want to see what
Talent
he's talking
doesn't
about,
matter.
I have that reaction on the channel. You can see it because I know exactly what he's talking about. It was a get up section. I did a reaction to it.
Yeah.
They said, should the Cowboys fear the Giants and Daniel
He
Jones?
said, "I don't fear anybody" or whatever.
They
Marcellus
do,
Wallace
bro.
said,
I spoke to a diehard ticket season holder for the last like 25 years down in
He
Dallas.
says he's
I happened
terrified.
to have a conversation with him, and he told me straight out, man. He says, I won't admit this in front of my friends, although I warned them. He told me, I'll tell you, the Giants are a team to be feared in the NFC East. He goes,
Yeah.
he's worried about the Giants. Their defense is top. And he also said, if you look at last year before Dak went down in that game, the Giants were giving Dallas all they could handle.
Yep.
we were beating Dallas. They took like 2 touchdowns away
Yup.
from us.
And
14
also-
points off the board. The Giants had a 49 points that day if they don't take away. And those points were legit. They robbed us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Referees woke
we
up and
should've
chose
been-
violence.
We should have been killing them, boys.
Yeah.
We were
You know,
killing them,
it's
boys, man.
America's
That's
team, you know.
The referees were like, "How can I wake up and be a colon cancer today?"
Yeah.
No,
Wait, wait.
it's a Dallas Cowboys, man, and they were struggling the first 4 weeks, so the ref was going to try to get them what they can.
I don't get how you can be called America's team when more than 95% of America hates you.
That's why you're America's team. You don't have your own team.
Guess what?
I did see a video a few days ago of Ezekiel Elliott. He is working out hard, and he does look like he lost a little bit of that stomach. to
Smoking
be honest.
marijuana.
Yeah, but the
Guess
thing
what?
with Dallas is if they don't fix that O-line, Elliott's not going to be the Elliott you remember because he was doing that behind a big O-line 3-4 years ago, and they're not the same.
I
Hey,
think
Pat.
Elliott has lost a step, man.
Hey, Pat, read this off here because I think if Atlanta trades, they're not going to take a quarterback, but a team that wants a quarterback is going to come up.
They said, what happens if Miami trades their pick or Atlanta or both? Does that change things for the Giants? Yeah, it might actually help them out
Yep, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
too.
Please
because
help
the
us.
more quarterbacks that goes, that's less more of the players that we want that go. If there's 5 quarterbacks that go in the top 10, that means only 5 other players are taken.
Yeah, and then
Besides
and then the 5 players. Chase is going to probably be one.
Yep, it's Penny Sewell,
Penny Sewell, two.
Kyle
Pitts.
Pitts.
Pitts, and then what? Waddle or Smith?
Yep. So that
And
means
also
one of them are
Jamal
going to be
Chase.
there.
Right.
Yeah.
Miami,
So
please
what's-
trade.
And
Once
then
again,
Dallas
not
is going to take a
CJ.
cornerback. So if there's 2 cornerbacks that are taken, I mean that could drop Slater to us. That could drop Waddle to us. That definitely leaves Parsons on the board. Listen, I know that Max loves to say that Gettleman does not trade down. But last year, if Xavier McKinney is not on that board, Dave Gettleman had a deal with the Bears to trade down. That was talked about a lot last year. That's how much they wanted McKinney. They tried to trade up to get McKinney because he was still on the board. So Joe Judge comes from New England, and what does Bill Belichick do? We know
Trade down.
we know that Judge has a little bit more say with Gettleman, and they're working together, talking things out.
A lot
So
more.
don't be surprised if this is Gettleman's first time that he does trade down, because we could drop down 14, we could drop down to 14 to 15. Parsons might still be on the board. Slater will probably be off the board, and Waddle will probably be off the board.
Oh yeah,
But
about
don't be
15, all
surprised.
the receivers are going to be gone.
But we could do that and still get Parsons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
They
true.
could go down and get the one JOK or that other kid that you were talking about who said there's a lot of interest now in him for the
Yeah,
edge.
Ojulari.
Yeah.
Aziz Ojulari.
I'm a big Owusu Koromoa guy, especially because he fills the Giants' biggest need at linebacker, which is a coverage linebacker, and that's exactly what JOK does.
But the
So
thing
Well, we
is,
don't need a
coverage
coverage linebacker.
We don't need a coverage linebacker because we put.
We don't need that.
there. We put.
We don't need a
Peppers right
coverage
there.
linebacker. This is not 2 years ago. We got the deepest secondary in football. We need a linebacker that's
I
going to
keep
murder the
forgetting how good
quarterback.
I keep forgetting how good the Giants' secondary is now. I'm just so
You're
used to our
good, man.
secondary being trash.
They want to
So
bring in They want to bring in McCourty, and we don't even need him, man.
Right.
You know, so
Well, if that happens right there, that's the best thing that can happen to the Giants. And as a fan base,
All right,
root for it.
Viz.
I keep forgetting.
I'm gonna have to head out too, Pat. I appreciate having me on. I gotta get up early in the morning
I just
for a
seen.
10-hour shift.
I've been in here over 2 hours. I'm gonna have to head out too.
I got a mouth.
All right,
I
man.
can't help it.
Y'all
later,
have a good
Max.
night.
Later,
Be
Max.
good.
All right, man.
All right, Max. Don't
Peace,
forget
Max.
to sub up Max Webster, his channel, man.
Appreciate
Great
it.
channel.
Please do.
Still waiting for my invite, but it's cool.
Oh yeah, and also Pat.
One thing about the 2 things I wanted to say about what Joe said. Number one is, oh man, I don't remember number one. Oh yeah. If a quarterback, a lot of people want the quarterback to drop, like one of the quarterbacks to drop to us, so that we could trade back with New England or the Bears, which would be good. But I'm seeing a small scenario now that I never saw before, where Penny Sewell might drop. And
I've seen
if Penny Sewell ever dropped to us, we struck the
You
mega
take it.
lotto.
Yeah, we struck the lotto of Penny Sewell.
If Penny Sewell drops to us, Jesus Christ is officially the CEO of the Giants organization.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't see any scenario where he drops, but if he does, what the hell?
There was a scenario on TV today, and that was Cincinnati passing up on him. And suddenly he started sliding because it was a run at all the receivers.
Was it?
I don't see why the Cowboys would let him slide past 10.
Right.
They
That's
need a
what I said. If
cornerback.
he got to Dallas is not letting us get him. They're going to rob him right away. They're going to run up to the podium, take Penny Sewell.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't see.
No wait, and also
They'll
if
take-
if we happen to do that, I'm going live every day on YouTube if that happens.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If like, so say if Cincinnati were to take a receiver if
They take Chase probably.
yeah,
I
if
believe they
the
are going to take Chase.
if
Yep.
the
Then, then, then,
Falcons
then, then, then they should have their heads examined if they do,
if the
man. I'm telling you
Falcons
right
took
now.
a quarterback instead of Pitts, that means the Panthers
Going Pitts.
would probably take Pitts, and that means Dallas would be left with Surtain, Sewell, and Slater. So out of all those, they'd probably go Surtain, and the Giants would be left with Penny Sewell and Rashawn Slater. Obviously, that's never going to happen, but that would be
But
that
it
would be
can,
awesome.
If there's a chance, it can happen. You
Mhm.
ever
It
hear of
can.
this short little
Yeah.
Irish guy called Murphy? He's associated with Murphy's Law. Yeah, me and him are real good friends. Yeah.
Hey man, I don't see no scenario when that guy gets past Dallas. I'm sorry.
Who
You
saw Xavier
What
McKinney
if it does,
dropping
though?
Dawson in the second round last
You-
year? He's
you ever
supposed to
hear-
be
That's a
strong.
safety though, Joe.
Don't matter.
He was the best safety on
a
the board.
surefire offensive tackle. Everybody
Don't matter.
say he is.
You got the
Thing-
Charger?
Thing is, Xavier McKinney was the best safety in that class, though.
There's
Huh?
been other linemen that have been surefire that have dropped in the draft. There was a guy that went to Miami because he had a gas mask full of marijuana smoke.
Yeah, but see, he doesn't have anything like that. This is just saying he just
Hey.
drops.
But falls in love with somebody. And they want
Anything. This is the draft. Anything can happen.
Yeah,
What
this the draft. Like
That is
who?
true, but I see quarterbacks being taken 1, 2,
Just
3.
think. Just think.
Guess what?
The Falcons can trade down,
And I see Giants draft a quarterback.
and then
Daniel
there'll be a
Jones with the
fourth
number
quarterback.
6.
Number 5, say if the Bengals take Chase.
the
Number
Eagles
Daniel
want to come
Jones.
back into the top 10.
Number 6, say the Dolphins
It's
take
Daniel
Waddle.
Jones.
Number
Daniel
6,
Jones.
they take Waddle. Number
Just-
7, who's number 7? Is it the Lions?
Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah,
Say Detroit, they take Devontae Smith. Number 8, the Panthers, they take, let's say, Parsons or somebody. Number 9, the Broncos take Patrick Surtain. Then number 10, he's not falling past the Cowboys unless they take Kyle Pitts.
Well, the Eagles,
Anything can happen. We took Daniel Jones over Josh Allen. Just
And
think
number
about
6.
that.
the Eagles want to come back into the top 10 to get Pitts.
Oh my God.
So
The Eagles-
guess what? I'm fine with that. Don't bother me.
I
No,
don't
but I'm
care.
just
The
saying.
Eagles are going to take Sarah Fuller anyway.
I'm just saying. We don't. Strange things happen during the draft, man.
We took Daniel
Yeah.
Jones at 6,
Who-
bro.
No,
Yeah.
Joe's right.
Happen.
Who
Joe's
saw
right.
Trubisky going at 2?
Nobody.
Did you see Mitchell Trubisky going at 2?
Yeah,
Hell no.
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky didn't see himself going number 2.
We just think. We
Wait,
took
also,
Daniel
hold on.
Jones over Josh Allen. Anything
on.
can happen.
Wait, hold up. Who expected the Bears to pass up on Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson?
Everybody
Who
passed up on
expected it?
Patrick Mahomes, so you can't really talk about that.
That was a
Patrick
mistake.
Mahomes wasn't really.
Patrick Mahomes was a Texas Tech quarterback, bro.
I think
That
the
could
Bears
have
might
been a
regret
Giant.
that.
Yeah, thanks, Joseph, for keeping up with
Oh
the
yeah,
stats,
yeah.
man. It was one of the best feelings
Yo,
I've had.
shout out to Bob. Bob at McAdoo. He wanted Mahomes on the Giants. I
I
wish that would
know.
happen.
We
Yeah,
took Evan
he
Ingram.
wanted Mahomes on the
Evan
Giants.
Ingram.
Well,
Oh,
who's to say you had the same career? Who's to
Thank
say
you,
you would have the
Jerry.
same career with the Giants?
That's
Who's
true.
right?
He
Thank you,
won't.
Jerry Reese. We're still paying for it.
He would have had a horrible 3 years with the Giants.
Another reason for a lot of Patrick Mahomes' success is Andy Reid.
Right. So who's to say
I
that
get
Patrick
Ben.
Mahomes wouldn't have been good with us? Who knows?
Ben McAdoo.
But
I meant to say Ben, and
But
nobody
look-
noticed that.
but hey, look, I've been on here over 2 hours. I'm finna get off.
Man.
Oh,
I may do another stream. No. What's tomorrow? Tuesday?
Yeah.
When you doing your stream, Miz?
Wednesday night around 8:30 or
Oh.
9 o'clock. All right, look for it. I'll let you guys
Okay.
know by then.
Okay. Well,
Actually, the
I
one
can
who's
do
setting it
another-
up is Zion, but it'll probably be on my channel. But Zion is
Zion
gonna set it
Williamson.
up.
Okay. I'll
But,
do another one tomorrow, probably around 8. And then Wednesday, I'm gonna try to get on Miz channel.
Yep.
I am
Yeah,
gonna
come
be on
on,
Miz channel as long as I'm welcome. I'm gonna be on Miz channel on Wednesday.
I'll be
I'm
there.
on Wednesday night because it might be the last one I do until the draft because I'm kind of busy. But
Yeah, me
Don't
too.
worry.
unless I could do one next week on my own, I wanted to do one myself. I never did one myself and then have everybody call in and stuff. But
Oh, I
Mhm.
got a good question for Miz tomorrow night. I can make it tomorrow or Wednesday night.
Okay.
Miz, I got a good question for you. Saving it
all
just
right,
for you. How'd you not
bring it.
get
Hey, I gotta tune in. I gotta see that debate. That's gonna be a good one. Two
Yes,
goats
I
going
will
at
be
it.
there.
So I gotta be for that debate. I
And
love
Yeah, bring
also,
it,
it.
and
man. You know
also,
it.
listen, if anybody runs out doing streams, I'll be doing streams to keep up.
Hmm.
I definitely be
Cause,
on your channel too, goat.
it's
cause
hard,
look,
man. Fishing
because thing
television.
is, I will be going live tomorrow. I just got to decide what time though.
Well, let me know, man. You got my Twitter and everything. Just let me know, and I'll come
I,
in if you want to.
you got
Oh.
IG by the way.
Honestly, I'm
Uh-huh.
trying to have a stream before the draft with Entertainer. Me and Entertainer. I spoke to him. We'll see if it happens. I know he's busy. I also reach out to Dog, but Bad Dog is really hard to get a hold of. I know he's busy with
Oh
his
man,
family
Bad
and
Dog.
work all
That
day.
man's always in the
Yeah,
gym.
that's
Man,
tough.
he's always doing something, man.
Wait,
Bad
wait.
Dog shot up so hard, so much.
Yeah, and also shout out to Miz. Am I the only one who thinking Miz dude looks like Bag Dog?
Yeah, you look like
Just
a
like-
He kind of
nigga
does.
Yeah.
be his brother.
Yeah, look, it's take the beard away,
Yeah.
and that's Bag Dog
He
twin.
looks just like him
No,
almost.
Bad Dog has the shadow, you know.
That's
Yeah.
what.
But I told Bad
Well,
Dog.
if y'all
I
wear
know
the
he's
cap,
built. Bad Dog's built. He works out, but I told him he's not on my level yet. He's got to keep on going.
oh wait, is that a competition?
Hey, look,
Yeah,
Miz,
that's what's
Miz
up.
don't look like no punk.
We
man.
gotta
Oh,
have a
boy.
weightlifting competition.
I
We gotta
go
have a
to the bar
squat
fight.
off
No,
like
but
Nick
listen,
Chubb
man,
and
I
Saquon.
love Bad Dog and I love Chris because I started watching this like 3 years ago, and those were the first two I noticed. Like the
Me
rest of us,
too.
they're really good at what
Yep.
they do, and I think they're really the big reason why this Giants YouTube has grown so much.
You're
Yeah.
not lying.
You know,
'Cause
like
they
they're
got
a
me
big
to
part
do
of
it.
it.
The
They
Giants
got
have
me
the
to do
best. The Giants have the best YouTube fan base of any NFL team.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
facts. Of course.
I might be throwing out some videos. I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it.
You got to do it.
it. Well,
Yeah.
you gotta let me know,
Look, I
man.
go
When
on
you do,
beard.
Joe.
Okay.
The
All
beard
right,
always
man.
gotta drop the
Look,
videos.
All
Thank
right, guys.
everybody for tuning in. Go tune in to the Miz channel Wednesday night. Go subscribe. Barkley the GOAT, go subscribe to his channel. More than likely, my mod Joseph has their channels in the chat already. He's a GOAT. And go support my man Logan Giant Zone, man. He's new. I don't think you're new to the scene, but let's support him as well. And he will be with me on my draft podcast. Matter of fact, all these guys should be with me on my draft podcast, unless Miz doing one for himself.
If we draft
All
Micah
these guys
Parsons
should
and
be on
Miz is on stream, I think we might see Miz have an aneurysm if we draft Micah
Yeah,
Parsons.
Pat. I wanted to do one with you, Pat. If we get a chance sometime before the draft next week, you know, if we can.
Yes, sir. You know,
But
I'm
this is what I
available, man.
want out of you guys for Wednesday night. I'm giving you homework.
Somebody legit just said I look like
you-
Nikola Jokic.
You got homework for Wednesday.
All
Don't
right,
come over
man.
to my channel without going right now and watching Parson highlights, and then come back and tell me you still don't want that freak. And also, come to me with a third-round draft pick, because nobody really ever talks about it. All we talk
Oh,
about
I
is
Ben
can
going
tell
to
you, I can tell you 2 or 3 right now, but I'm gonna save it for the show, man.
Ben
save it
There
for
you
Cleveland.
go.
Wednesday.
There you go. Yeah. That,
All
I
right,
want
man.
real legit third-round draft picks, like a real guy. Don't throw at me all these little receivers.
Nah,
Come with a
Ben
very
Cleveland.
important piece.
I'm coming with a real draft pick.
be right there.
Yep.
Ben
And also,
Cleveland.
and shout out to Joseph for putting the link in.
Yeah, Joseph got all you guys links in the chat,
Thanks,
man.
Joseph.
Shout out to my mob, man. He's actually part of the show, man. He's just as excited as me for me to do these shows, man. Thank that guy, man. That guy's a champ, man.
Yeah, Joseph.
Let me say what's up. Let me say what's up to New York Giants 26. Him and I email each other throughout the day. I know we've been trying to get a stream, but he's been busy taking a lot of exams. So
Somebody legit said I look like Nikola Jokic.
Yes, you do.
You
That's
do.
why.
You do.
Hey yo, Nikola Jokic.
You're right.
We're gonna
All
get
right,
you
guys.
score about
All right,
30
guys.
points with the Denver
I-
Nuggets.
I got
All
to
right.
scoop. Y'all have a good
All right,
night.
guys. We're gonna end it right there. I will be on the Miz channel. Look
I
for
don't
me
play basketball, bro. I
Wednesday
play
on the
football.
Miz channel. And good night, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
good night.
I don't play basketball. I play football.
That's why you are the new running back.